Hello, friends, and welcome back. Today is day 3 of the Brooke Skylar Richardson trial rewatch. A little bit of housekeeping. I did do a video on the read technique. It's like a little mini deep dive. I would definitely recommend watching that, especially before, I believe, day 4 of trial, because that's going to be when we're going to be watching her interrogation video. That is the most important part of this entire trial. So I would definitely watch the little mini deep dive of the read technique, because it kind of goes into what kind of false confessions can be elicited and how, which I think is very important in this specific context. Which, reminder, we are rewatching this trial from 2019 because it is so similar in how it's being framed than the Laken Snelling indictment that just happened. And this ended up very differently than they were framing it. So I think it's important to watch it. And also, it has all kinds of interesting and important things to see, like false confessions and the read technique and stuff like that. So today is day 3, and we're going to be watching Dr. Susan Brown, previously Dr. Susan Allen, who is the forensic pathologist for the prosecution, I believe. Yeah, so that's what we're going to be watching, both direct and cross today. So I hope you are excited about it, because it is very exciting. I'm very excited. As you know how I feel about expert witnesses, and I have a feeling this is going to get really spicy with me. So welcome into day 3. I believe it's going to be part 1. There's probably going to be more testimony of day 3, but we're just going to be watching Dr. Susan Brown today. So welcome to day 3 of the rewatch of Skylar Richardson trial with Dr. Susan Brown.
Ohio versus Brooke Skylar Richardson, case number 2017 CR 33292. Present before the court is Ms. Richardson, right?
Correct, Your Honor.
Represented by Mr. and Mr. Rickers. We have Mr. Knippen from the prosecutor's office, Officer Kraft from probation, from prosecutor's office also. We are here today, continuation of our trial. Mr. Knippen, Ms. Kraft, is the state prepared to go forward?
We are, Your Honor.
Mr. Rickers, is the defense prepared to go forward?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Mullins, go get our jury. Seated. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. Was everybody able to follow my instructions and admonitions over our break last night? All right, we are going to resume our testimony this morning. We left off yesterday with Mr. Fain's testimony. Because of some scheduling issues, we are going to interrupt his testimony, and we are going to have some other witnesses testify. The fact that some of these witnesses are being taken out of order or we're pausing, that is of no concern to you in how the evidence is presented. Mr. Knippen, Ms. Kraft, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. The state would call Dr. Susan Brown.
Since it starts with her going over, like, her credentials or whatever, I'm going to put it on 1.25.
Okay.
You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Doctor, can you please state your full name for the record, spelling your last?
Susan Brown, B-R-O-W-N.
And just for point of clarification, at the time that you became involved in this case, were you known as Dr. Susan Allen?
Yes, I was.
Doctor, where are you employed?
The Montgomery County Coroner's Office in Dayton.
And in what capacity?
I'm a forensic pathologist.
And what is your business address?
West 3rd Street,
And is that in Dayton, Ohio?
Dayton, Ohio.
Thank you. And how long have you been so employed, Doctor?
12 years.
As a forensic pathologist, can you please explain to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what your duties and responsibilities are at the Montgomery County Coroner's Office?
I perform autopsies to determine cause and manner of death.
I get so annoyed by the, especially experts, but anyone who listen to the question and then talk to the jury like that. It just is really annoying to me.
And is that what a forensic pathologist does?
Yes.
Can can you explain to them what cause and manner of death is?
Cause of death is any type of injury or natural disease that leads to death. And manner of death is how that cause of death came about. You have 5 choices on a manner of death: natural, accident, suicide, homicide, or undetermined.
Thank you, doctor. Can you please detail for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury your educational and medical background that qualifies you for your current position?
I have a bachelor's degree in biology from the University of Cincinnati. I went on to medical school at Ohio University, did a residency in pathology at Ball Memorial Hospital in Muncie, Indiana, and then did additional training in forensic pathology, did a fellowship in forensic pathology at the Montgomery County Coroner's Office, which is where I'm currently employed.
Thank you, doctor. And are you currently licensed?
Yes,
In which states?
Ohio and Indiana.
And are you board certified?
Yes, I am.
And in what areas?
Anatomic pathology, clinical pathology, hematopathology, and forensic pathology.
Thank you, doctor. Are you a member of any professional organizations?
I'm a member of NAME, the National Association of Medical Examiners.
Doctor, in the course of your career, approximately how many autopsies have you performed?
Several thousand.
And have you previously testified, and has your testimony been accepted as expert?
Yes.
In which counties?
Montgomery County, here in Warren County, Preble County, Butler County, Greene County, Clark County.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness?
You may.
Doctor, showing you what's been previously marked as State's Exhibit 95 for purposes of identification. Do you recognize that document?
Yes.
And can you please tell us what that is?
It's my resume.
And does that resume or curriculum vitae detail all of your relevant training and experience as it relates to your current position?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time I would offer Dr. Susan Brown as an expert in the area of forensic pathology.
Does the defense wish to conduct any examination as to voir dire of the witness?
No, Your Honor.
All right, you may proceed.
Thank you. Doctor, I'd like to direct your attention to July 15th and July 28th of 2017. Were you so employed by the Montgomery County Coroner's Office on those dates?
Yes.
And same duties and responsibilities that you just detailed?
Yes.
And just to be clear, you are an employee of the Montgomery County Coroner's Office, correct?
Correct.
You're not an employee of the prosecutor's office,
Correct.
and you have not been paid or retained by our office to come to this trial and testify.
No.
The opinion that you offer today, would that be the same opinion that you would offer whether you're subpoenaed by the state or the defense?
Yes.
Thank you. Doctor, on those dates, did you have occasion to conduct an autopsy on skeletal remains that had been identified to you as those of baby Richardson?
Yes.
And at that time, when you first received her body, or her skeletal remains, if you will, what information did you have, if any, regarding how her remains came to be in your custody?
I had been given information from the scene investigation, which was from the Warren County Coroner's Office.
And what information was that?
They told our office that the remains of this baby, they were recovered from a backyard burial.
And doctor, during the course of your autopsy or your examination, did you at a later point receive additional information, additional collateral information?
Yes.
And what other sources of information did you receive during the course of your examination and or autopsy?
I received information from the police interview of the defendant.
And would that be both interviews, excuse me, on July 14th and July 20th?
Yes.
And doctor, is that common practice in your role as the forensic pathologist to receive collateral information?
Yes.
Doctor, where did you conduct the autopsy in this case?
In Dayton at the Montgomery County Coroner's Office.
And who all was present?
Morgue technicians and a photographer, also employees of the Montgomery County Coroner's Office.
And that was going to lead into my next question. Was there equipment present to allow you to photograph or have somebody photograph the autopsy as it was performed?
Yes.
And is that also a routine part of an autopsy?
Yes.
Doctor, if you could, can you please explain the manner in which you would typically perform an autopsy?
The first thing that we do is to take pictures to show how the decedent arrived at our facility. And then we begin to do an external examination so that we look at the outside of the body for any type of signs of natural disease or injury. And then we do an internal exam where we actually remove all of the organs and examine all of the organs for the same thing, for any kind of natural disease or injury. And during the entire process, take pictures to show any findings that we have.
Doctor, did you follow that same procedure in this case?
As much as I could.
And can you please explain what you mean by that?
Well, in this particular case, I received skeletal remains were just bones with only a small amount of soft tissue, fatty tissue attached, and no internal organs. So there really was no internal exam because there were no internal organs.
So doctor, just to be clear, when you talk about in your typical procedure doing an internal examination, was there any ability to do an internal examination on the remains of baby Richardson?
No.
And would it be fair to say then that in this particular autopsy, your examination was limited to what you had, which was the skeletal remains?
Correct.
So there was an external examination and photographs?
Yes.
Thank you. Now, doctor, you mentioned photographs were taken in this case as well, is that correct?
Yes.
And would the viewing of those photographs materially assist you with your testimony today?
Yes.
Your Honor, may I approach?
You may.
Doctor, I'm going to show you what's been marked as States Exhibits 97 through 110 and ask you to take a look at those, please. Do you recognize those photographs?
Yes.
And are those photographs that were taken of the autopsy performed on baby Richardson?
Yes.
And do those photographs clearly and accurately depict the autopsy as it was performed in your crime lab on that day?
Yes.
Now, doctor, before we start going through these photographs, just to lay a little background here, did you were aware that there were two different excavation dates in this case?
Yes.
And I previously asked you if your autopsy was performed on two dates, July 15th and July 28th.
Yes.
And did that correspond to the two different excavation dates?
Yes.
So do
I just want to let everyone know the differences in like sound and video is not me. It is law and crime. It is not me.
how did that work for you? You received the initial set of remains that came in from the first excavation, correct?
Yes. So on July 14th, I received the first recovery of remains, did my exam the following day, and then on July 20th, we received a second set, and then I did my second exam on July 28th.
Thank you, doctor. Showing you what's been marked as States Exhibit 97 for purposes of identification. Doctor, if you will, can you tell us what is depicted in this photograph?
This picture shows what we received during the first recovery. So we have 3 bags, in addition to some loose remains that all arrived in a body bag.
And if you need to, you can use the screen up there. The bones or remains that we see right in the center of that picture, were those the loose bones that came in that you just
Yes.
referred to from the body bag?
Yes.
Is that just bones? Is there anything mixed in? What are we seeing there?
We see a collection of bones with some dirt and a little bit of fatty soft tissue attached.
Doctor, showing you what's been marked as States Exhibit 98 for purposes of identification. Can you please tell us what is depicted in that photograph?
So this is a closer look at the loose bones and little soft tissue and dirt that we received.
And is that a close-up of that center section that we saw in the first photograph?
Yes.
And this is, just to be clear, what you have from the first excavation at this point, correct?
Yes.
I think Skylar's reaction looks pretty legit. I think she looks like she's genuinely upset and she's trying to hold back. Usually, I mean, I find that usually shaking is either too much or just like tensing muscles, and she doesn't look like she's just tensing her muscles. So I think this looks like a genuine response, and I kind of wish they would stop showing it. It's really upsetting. I mean, she's watching the bones of her baby.
Doctor, showing you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 99 for purposes of identification. And I believe I'm going to move the photograph for you a little bit. That is the top of the photograph, and because of the positioning of the photograph, I have to move it up a little. But what is depicted in that photograph, Doctor?
So here we're looking at, after I started to go through some of those, the dirt and remains that I received, these are ribs and a portion of the vertebral column, the bony structure that protects your spinal cord. So here we're looking at ribs. And you can see that some of the ribs have darkening on the ends of them.
That was unasked for. That was just adding it without any question. Thank you for that. I think I know what you're alluding to.
Thank you, Doctor. Showing you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 100 for purposes of identification. What is depicted in this photograph, Doctor?
So here we're looking at one of the bags that I received during the first recovery. And in this bag, there are bones of the skull.
And Doctor, we've had a little bit of testimony, but if you will, is it common at this age for the skull to be in so many pieces, if you will?
It is. So as an adult, many of these bones are all fused to form one structure, but an infant has not reached that maturity yet. So many of the bones, not only in the skull, but throughout the body, have not fused yet, so may not look like an adult bone would look.
And when you say as an infant, at one day of life, is this how you would expect the bones of an infant to look?
Yes.
Well, probably not as dirty. Probably not covered in soil.
Doctor, showing you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 101 for purposes of identification. Can you please tell us what is depicted in this photograph?
So here we see the second bag that we had received during that first recovery. And in the second bag, the bag contained dirt along with strands of hair.
Now I'm going to mess up your circle. But the strands of hair that you're referring to were located in that clump of dirt?
Yes.
And is that the sample that was ultimately forwarded to serology for analysis for DNA and gender?
Yes.
Okay, I don't need to see her anymore. This is upsetting. She's obviously having an emotional reaction. We see
Doctor,
that.
I'm showing you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 102 for purposes of identification. Can you please tell us what is depicted in that photograph?
So here we have the third bag that was received during that first recovery. And in this bag we have a collection of dirt. And within that dirt is some fragments of fatty type soft tissue and numerous bones.
How did you go about trying to sift through that, if you will, to see if there was anything of evidentiary value in that pile of dirt?
Just with my hands.
You didn't use a leaf blower? I feel like you could have used a leaf blower. It's nice and delicate. You would definitely, it's perfect for a leaf blower.
Now, Doctor, after you have sifted through the dirt and everything else, and I believe you indicated in State's Exhibit 98, that's what you are starting out with, correct?
Yes.
Are you making attempts to try and inventory this and determine what, if anything, you have?
I did not do an inventory.
I feel like this is, I don't like this prosecutor very much. I don't even remember what her name is. I just call her Dress Barn Betty, but she does understand the what if any why you use that and how you use it, and she does use it correctly. So I will give that to her. That is a what if any that actually makes sense.
I waited for an anthropologist to come and do the inventory. I simply started going through what we had in order to recover as many bones as I could from all of the dirt.
And doctor, showing you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 103 for purposes of identification. When you start sifting through that pile, is this what you were able to pull out?
Yeah, so this is initially what I had recovered on my first look through all of the dirt. And here we can see that there are numerous ribs and clavicles or collarbones, as well as some vertebral bones, pelvis, a little bit of fatty type soft tissue, some long bones, skull bones.
Doctor, showing you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 104 for purposes of identification.
Doctor, if you click the lower left, it will clear everything at one time.
Thank you.
Showing you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 104 for purposes of identification. Doctor, can you tell us what we're looking at in this photograph?
So here we're looking at the skull bones. There are two parietal bones, a right and left parietal bone, and these are the bones that sit right on top of your head. And then there is an occipital bone that sits right at the back of your head. And so here we have the parietal bones, the left, the right, and here is the occipital bone.
Doctor, are there in this picture any fractures depicted?
Yes, there are 3 fractures on both the right and the left parietal bones.
I feel like it would have been better for her to ask, is there anything that you found remarkable? And then have her say fracture. I feel like that would have been more better, definitely more better. And also, when they keep showing Skylar, I know it's really upsetting. I imagine that her counsel told her do not react, and this is her trying really hard not to react to watching the bones of her child that was stillborn, allegedly at this point. Yeah, that would be upsetting.
I'm going to show you another picture, but from a different view. State's Exhibit 105 for purposes of identification. What are we looking at in that photograph, doctor?
So these are the same bones that we saw in the last picture, except we have now flipped them over. So we're looking at the other side, the side that would be in contact with your brain, so the inside of the bones.
And are those fracture sites better depicted when the bones are flipped?
Yes.
And can you please identify those for us?
So again, this is the left and the right parietal bones. We have a puncture type fracture on the left. There's a fracture right here and a fracture here. On the right, we have 1, 2, and this one is a little difficult to see. It's bent in, so it's sort of in the same plane with the picture and difficult to see from this angle.
Now, doctor, you are aware that baby Richardson's body was in the ground for over 2 months, correct?
Yes.
Are you able to offer any opinion as to whether those fractures are pre or post-mortem?
I don't know.
And just so everybody is clear, what is pre-mortem and what is post-mortem, doctor?
So pre-mortem meaning that it occurred before death, and post-mortem after death.
Thank you, doctor. Showing you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 106 for purposes of identification. Doctor, can you please tell us what is depicted in that photograph?
So here we're looking at the nearly complete set of infant remains that were recovered. We have skull bones, the frontal bones, facial bones, including the jaws, the maxilla, the mandible, so the upper and lower jaws, the vertebral bones, ribs on either side of those, the upper extremities, so the long bones of both arms, the ribs, the pelvis, and the femurs, or the long bones in your thighs, and also some bones of both hands.
Is there anything at this point that is obviously missing?
There are a couple of things missing. A few ribs, a couple of vertebral bones, and the lower leg bones, the tibia and fibula, two lower leg bones on either side, and the feet and ankles.
Doctor, showing you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 107 for purposes of identification. Can you tell us what is depicted in that photograph?
So this is an envelope that I received during the second recovery. And this envelope is from the previous burial site in the backyard where they found the first set of remains.
And just to be clear, it was your understanding they went back out a second time and additional bones were located?
Yes.
Doctor, showing you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 108 for purposes of identification. Can you please tell us what is depicted in that photograph?
So this is the contents of that envelope. And inside the envelope, a couple of small bones as well as a few rocks. And then one set of lower leg bones, tibia and fibula.
Rocks?
Doctor, showing you what's been marked in State's Exhibit 109 for purposes of identification. Can you please tell us what is depicted in that photograph?
This is just a closer look at the previous picture. So the tibia and fibula.
Doctor, once you had sorted through and identified the contents from the second excavation, were you able to add those to your prior layout of Baby Richardson?
Yes.
Showing you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 110 for purposes of identification. Can you please tell us what is depicted in that photograph, Doctor?
So this is essentially similar to the previous photograph where we looked at all of the bones that had been recovered, except now we have added the tibia and fibula, the lower leg bones, to the collection.
And at this point, are you still missing any of the skeletal remains?
Yeah, so the other leg, the other lower leg, feet and ankles, and still a couple of ribs and vertebral bodies.
Absent those missing bones, Doctor, does this represent a nearly complete set of skeletonized bones from Baby Richardson?
Yes.
And again, these photographs that we've gone through, do they accurately depict the condition of Baby Richardson's skeletal remains when they were provided to you?
Yes.
And at the time that you performed your autopsy on her?
Yes.
Now, Doctor, you had initially said that when you were completing your autopsy, as you were going through the process, that you received additional information, correct?
Yes.
And I think that you said that you received audio transcripts from the police interviews of the defendant and scene information.
Yes, I did.
You also said that it's typical for you to collect that collateral information.
Yes.
And can you explain why that is?
In order to determine both cause and manner of death, all of the information leading up to the death, at the scene, during the autopsy, any toxicology, if toxicology can be performed, all of those things will make a more complete picture so that you can arrive at an accurate determination of cause and manner of death.
And Doctor, separate and apart from this case, can you give the ladies and gentlemen an example of what you mean?
So, for example, if someone dies during an electrocution, specifically a low voltage, like household current, a low voltage electrocution, it is likely you will not have any findings on the body that will give you any clue that that is what happened. So if you don't get information from the scene to tell you, for example, this person was standing there using a power tool that had a frayed cord, and then in the middle of using this power tool had a sudden collapse and died, you would never be able to arrive at the accurate cause and manner of death without that extra information, because sometimes there aren't findings on the body that you're going to be able to look at the autopsy table. So it's important to look at everything.
So just to be fair, doctor, in your capacity as a forensic pathologist, or for any forensic pathologist, you do not look at the autopsy itself in a vacuum?
Correct.
Doctor, when you reviewed the statements of the defendant in this case, were there statements that she made that were significant to you in helping you to make a determination as to cause of death in this case?
Yes.
And if you will, what were the statements that she made that you found to be relevant?
The statements during the police interview were statements about sounds that the baby had made, gurgling, crying, movement, all signs of life.
Was it relevant to you that she had indicated that she thought she might have killed her baby?
Yes.
That she might have killed her baby when she squeezed it too hard?
Yes.
That her baby was alive for about 5 minutes?
Yes.
That her baby was alive before she squeezed her?
Object to the threat.
I'll sustain the objection as to the form of the question.
Doctor, when she makes statements indicating that she may have taken her daughter's life, was that relevant to you?
Yes.
When she made statements indicating that her daughter may have been alive for a period of time, was that relevant to you?
Yes.
How so?
It all indicates life.
That smile was so creepy. I've gotten not great vibes from her. That smile, no thank you.
It all indicates life.
Look at it. Look at it.
You deal
Oh,
with dead
God.
bodies, correct?
Yes.
And I'm not trying to be insensitive here, but the dead bodies, the processes that the bodies go through, have you ever had an experience where a deceased infant cries,
No.
gurgles,
No.
breathes,
No.
moves?
No.
Was it concerning to you when you were considering all of the information and trying to reach your opinion on cause of death that she indicated that she may have tried to cremate her child?
Yes.
How so?
It indicates, along with the other scene information, of a deliberate attempt to try to hide or conceal the infant.
Doctor, the scene information that was provided to you regarding the backyard burial, did that factor into your opinion as to cause of death?
Yes, again, it's a deliberate attempt to hide the baby.
I don't understand that. I understand cremating or whatever to hide the baby, but burying it? Isn't that what you do with dead things that you love? I mean, my old cat just died like a couple weeks ago, and I buried her in our yard because that's what you do. I wanted to give her a spot to be, and then for me to go. That's what you do. That's not hide. I didn't do it because I was hiding her. I was doing it because you have to do something with dead bodies. And so you give them a spot to be. That's not hiding it. That's so stupid. That's so stupid. And look at that fate. Sure, her vibes are off.
Now, doctor, you had indicated previously when we were talking about doing an inventory of baby Richardson's skeletal remains that you had consulted with somebody.
Yes.
And who was that?
An anthropologist, Dr. Murray.
Dr. Elizabeth Murray?
Yes.
What was your purpose in consulting with Dr. Murray?
We asked Dr. Murray to come in and do an inventory of all of the skeletal remains, give us, if she could, an estimate of the age, and also evaluate for any injury that she could see.
And was the determination or the decision to request her assistance on this case made by the Montgomery County Coroner's Office?
Yes.
Was it ever done at the request of the Sheriff's Office?
No.
Was it ever done at the request of the Prosecutor's Office?
No.
Were you ever directed to go out and find additional information by the Prosecutor's Office?
No.
When you consulted with Dr. Murray, you said you asked her to help with doing the inventory.
Yes.
And was that in fact done?
Yes.
And is that how we or you and Dr. Murray arrived at the picture that we see depicted in State's Exhibit 110?
Yes.
Was she able, you said one of your other purposes was in asking her if she could make an age determination on the skeletal remains of baby Richardson. Was she able to do that?
Yes.
And what was her estimate as to the age of baby Richardson?
Her estimate was 38 to 40 weeks.
And did you use that information in your autopsy report?
Yes.
You said that you also asked her to look at the bones and do further analysis to determine if there were any signs of trauma.
Yes.
And did she do that as well?
Yes.
And was she able to give you any indication of whether or not there was any evidence of trauma to the remains of baby Richardson that you relied upon in reaching your cause of death opinion?
She also looked at the fractures on the skull bones that we looked at in one of these pictures. And I believe she also could not make a determination as to whether they had happened before death or after death. And then she also noticed that there were some darkened areas on a few of the bones.
And I believe showing you again what's been marked as State's Exhibit 99. Are those the darkened areas that you are referring to?
Yes.
On the on the end
Yes.
of the ribs?
Yes.
Thank you, doctor. Now, Dr. Murray actually examined the bones on 2 different occasions, correct?
She did.
And when she offered you the opinion regarding trauma to the bones, was the initial opinion offered after she did her first examination?
The fracture, yes, both were after the first examination.
Okay. And then did she have an opportunity to return to your crime lab on a second date and re-examine the bones after they had dried further?
Yes.
And at that point in time, did she indicate to you that she was no longer able to offer a definitive opinion as to whether or not those were indications of thermal injury to the bones?
That's right. She had backed away from that opinion and was not sure that they had been burned, that the bones had been burned.
Now, let me ask you this, doctor. The fact that she could not give you an indication that the skull fractures were, that those occurred pre or post-mortem, or the fact that she could not give you a definitive opinion on whether or not there was any evidence of thermal injury to the bones, were you still able, based on your examination of the bones and the scene and the statements that were provided to you, able to form your own opinion as to cause of death?
Yes.
Without Dr. Murray's information, did you still feel like you had enough to go forward?
Yes.
And why is that?
Information from other sources, the scene, and also from the police interview.
Now, doctor, I had previously asked you in your testimony if you would have given the same opinion that you reached in this case to both the state and the defense if they had spoken to you about your examination and autopsy of baby Richardson. Is that correct?
Yes.
And in fact, you did have an opportunity to speak to the defense attorney in this case. Is that correct?
Yes.
And at that time, I believe he questioned you about the findings of his experts.
Correct.
And were you willing to take a look at his experts' reports?
Yes.
You are aware that he retained both Carl Schmidt and Mark Levon to examine the skeletal remains of baby Richardson.
Correct.
Are they doctors?
Your Honor, may I approach? I am going to hand you a copy of the report authored by Dr. Carl Schmidt.
They are doctors. That was nice of you to not include that part when you were
Have you
introducing
seen that
them to the
report
board.
before?
Yes.
You've read its contents?
Yes.
Do you think that most of the people who are on the stand actually need reading glasses? Or do you think they just put them on to be like I don't know, smarter looking. Like they're like, let me think about that. It's like I'm wearing blue light glasses. I don't need them to see. I had LASIK surgery, so I don't need glasses to see. But I feel like like in the Johnny Depp trial, for instance, everyone had glasses on. They would always like put on glasses when they were looking at paperwork, and it's like, do you actually need that? You look like you're. I mean, not Johnny, he's old, but like everyone, like Amber, she's like my age. I don't think you need that. I don't think you need glasses to read. I think you can't read to begin with. Just kidding.
Let me go ahead and offer you the report of Dr. Mark Levon. Have you also seen that report before?
Yes.
And have you also read its contents?
Yes.
And in fact, have you discussed the contents of those reports with the defense attorney?
Yes.
She looks like someone who
Starting with Dr. Schmidt's report.
prefers a day that you only need a light jacket. That's what she looks like to me. Only like mean. She just looks. Her vibes are off. Her vibes are just off. But with that hair, she really looks like what's her name from Miss Congeniality.
Report.
Yeah, may we approach? You may. You may continue, Ms. Graf.
Thank you, Your Honor. Okay, Ms. Brown, or Dr. Brown, I apologize. Let's flip to Dr. Levon's report, okay? And I believe that is the one that you had communication with the defense about?
Yes.
And let me ask you this. Are you open to receiving new information whenever you are conducting an autopsy?
Sure.
From any source?
Sure.
And when you receive additional information, if you find anything in there that's relevant or causes you to reconsider any of your initial opinions, are you willing to change your opinion accordingly?
Sure.
Okay. You looked at Dr. Levon's report.
Yes.
Was there anything contained within that report that caused you to reconsider your opinion?
No.
When you talked to the defense on this case, Dr. Levon offered 4 opinions, correct?
Yes.
And you went through each one of those with the defense?
Yes.
And in looking at the report, the first thing that Dr. Levon offers is that the skeletal remains showed no identifiable evidence of thermal injury. Did you disagree with that based on your examination?
I don't disagree with that.
Does that mean that there was no thermal injury, or you just agree that there was no evidence of thermal injury on the skeletal remains?
On the skeletal remains, I did not identify anything that I could say was thermal injury.
And again, just to be fair, in this case, all you got are the skeletal remains, correct?
Correct.
This baby did not die in a hospital. Is that your understanding?
Yes.
This baby was not brought to you within days after her death. Is that correct?
Correct.
Judge, objection. Sustained is the form of question.
Doctor, if you had had baby Richardson's entire body, would you perhaps have been able to offer an opinion as to whether or not there was evidence of thermal injury to her?
Again, Judge, it's
Go ahead and answer.
Yes, I would have been able to have a more complete external examination. The baby would have been intact, and certainly internal examination as well with internal organs.
So you and Dr. Levon didn't disagree on point 1, that there's no definitive evidence of thermal injury to her bones?
Correct.
Dr. Levon's second point was that the skeletal remains showed no identifiable evidence of violent traumatic injury. Did you agree or disagree with that statement?
I disagreed with that statement. I identified the fractures of the skull bones, the parietal bones, however, did also clarify that to say I don't know whether they were made before death or after death, but they are there.
So you documented their existence.
Yes,
You just are not able to offer an opinion as to whether they are pre or post mortem.
correct.
Her smile is so creepy.
Dr. Levon's third point was due to the advanced state of decomposition and lack of soft tissue for examination, There is absolutely no identifiable evidence of live birth. Do you agree or disagree, doctor?
By looking at the bones alone, with no other information, there's nothing that I can say just by looking at the bones that there is a live birth.
And so again, we have agreement. By looking at the skeletal remains alone, we cannot say.
Correct.
I'm going to go back to your original testimony, doctor. Is that why a forensic pathologist does not work in a vacuum?
Yes.
Dr. Levan's fourth point, because of the lack of identifiable violent injury and the lack of evidence of live birth, it is incorrect to state that this child died of homicidal violence of undetermined etiology. Do you agree or disagree, doctor?
I disagree.
And why is that?
Because as part of my job, I am required to look at all of the information. And so I did that. And that included the scene information and the information gathered during the police interview.
And did you share those opinions with the defense?
Yes.
Based on her demeanor, whenever they bring up the defense, I have a feeling they don't get along. I just have a feeling they don't get along.
Your Honor, if I may have a moment.
You may.
Doctor, in this case, did you prepare a report documenting your autopsy of baby Richardson and containing your findings in this case?
Yes.
Your Honor, may I approach?
You may.
Doctor, I'm showing you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 96 for purposes of identification. Do you recognize that exhibit?
I do.
Can you please tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what it is?
This is my autopsy report.
And does that autopsy report contain your opinion as to the cause of death of baby Richardson?
Yes.
Doctor, based upon your education, training, and experience as a forensic pathologist, and based upon your autopsy of baby Richardson, do you have an opinion within a reasonable degree of medical certainty as to the cause of baby Richardson's death?
Yes.
And can you please state your opinion?
Homicidal violence of undetermined etiology.
And can you please explain your opinion to the jury?
So looking at all of the information, the scene, the police interview, the evaluation by the anthropologist, my autopsy evaluation, all of the evidence points to a homicide, but the exact cause of the homicide, the exact cause of death can't be determined.
Doctor, could you have obtained more information had baby Richardson been presented to you for autopsy in the days following her death?
Yes.
We already went over this.
Doctor, did the actions of the defendant in any way impact your ability to make conclusions on this case?
The objection will be sustained. Let's move on, Ms. Grant.
Nothing further at this time, Your Honor.
Ending on an objection that was sustained kind of sucks. I feel like just one more question that you can get out there so it doesn't end on an objection would be good.
Mr. Rickers, are we prepared to go forward with cross? You may proceed.
I feel like I like this guy's style, his questioning style. I like it. I think. I realized I never put it back at 1 speed, so I'm going to do that because oftentimes when they are on the cross-examination, you want to know their, like, how when they pause, that kind of thing. That woman's Mexican blanket dress, I want it. I need it. It's fantastic. I want it. It matches her purse too.
Dr. Brown,
Yes.
I want to start my examination of you by talking about just the remains, okay?
Okay.
Based on your examination of the remains, you cannot tell us to any reasonable degree of scientific certainty that Annabelle suffered any injuries prior to her death, correct?
Based on my exam only, at the autopsy table, although I see fractures of the skull, I can't tell you whether or not they are made before death or after death.
So the answer to my question is that you can't state to any degree of reasonable scientific certainty that, let me see if I can say this correctly again, that Annabelle suffered any injuries prior to her death.
Based on only the examination of the skeletal.
It's going to be like that. It's going to be like that. She doesn't answer the fucking questions. It's not that fucking simple. It's not that fucking difficult. It's simple. Just answer the question. It looks so bad.
Remains, I cannot.
Thank you. Now, based on that examination, you cannot tell us to any reasonable degree of scientific certainty that Annabelle was born alive. Is that correct?
Based on just the autopsy examination alone, I cannot determine whether it was a live birth.
Dr. Brown, if Mr. Rickers asks you a yes or no question, he is entitled to a yes or no answer.
Oh my fucking God, hallelujah. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? He recognized, I love this judge. He recognized that she's going to be one of those people that doesn't ever fucking answer the question yes or no. She has to put it in her own words so that she's like finagling it to be exactly how she wants it, which is a very, I don't like it. I don't like it. For a number of reasons. I'll probably be complaining about it later. But he recognized it and he's like, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. And God bless him.
Go ahead, Mr. Rickers.
Thank you, Your Honor. Doctor, based on your examination, you cannot tell us to a reasonable degree of scientific certainty that Skylar's statement to the police that Annabelle was a stillborn isn't true, correct?
Correct.
Now yet, Dr. Allen, in your...
She looks so pissed. Also, he's going to keep calling her Dr. Allen because that was her name when he was making all of this. Like when he was talking to her, her name was Dr. Allen. She has since changed her name to Dr. Brown. So he's probably going to say it wrong a number of times because he's gotten ready with Dr. Allen, and also he's an old man. So I imagine he's not no old dog, new tricks.
In your report, you list homicide as the cause of death. We all heard that, correct?
Yes.
And you indicated that that's not based solely on your physical examination of Annabelle, correct?
Correct.
You indicated it's based on the police interrogations, correct?
That is one piece, yes.
You'd agree with me, Dr. Allen, that you're not a trained police officer, is that correct?
Correct.
And you're not trained in interrogation techniques, are you?
No, I'm not.
And you're not trained in the read technique, are you?
No.
She should watch my video on YouTube. I put it up a couple days ago. She's welcome to watch it. I think it would be a good idea for her to watch that.
You're not trained to identify false confessions, are you?
No.
You're not trained to identify psychological predispositions to acquiesce to authority, are you?
No.
You're a forensic pathologist, we know that. That means that your training and experience on how to examine a human corpse is related to the cause of death, correct?
The autopsy procedure. Yes.
We focus strictly on your examination of Annabelle's remains in this case, with your actual expertise, you cannot tell us the exact cause of death in this case. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah. Now, you hired Dr. Beth Murray, correct?
Yes.
And so the jury understands this. She's a forensic anthropologist, correct?
She is an anthropologist.
She's not a forensic anthropologist?
She may be considered a forensic anthropologist.
You would call a forensic anthropologist to look at these remains, would you?
I'm not exactly sure what her, whether she is specifically an anthropologist or a forensic anthropologist. She does forensic work. She is an anthropologist that does forensic work.
Are we for fucking real right now? You can't even just answer, yeah, she's a forensic anthropologist. You have to say, she's an anthropologist that does forensic work. I don't know. Like, what? Are you fucking serious? She's assistant to the regional manager. I don't know if she's the assistant regional manager. Like, come the fuck on. What the fuck? She's like just fighting him just to be fighting him, which is just not a good look. Not a good look.
Doctor, the purpose of hiring Dr. Murray, the forensic anthropologist, was for her to determine not only the age of Annabelle, but it was also to determine whether there was any trauma to Annabelle. Is that correct?
Yes.
Now, you had attached the report of Dr. Elizabeth Murray, correct?
Yes.
But it's without an addendum, isn't it?
I'm not aware of an addendum.
Well, I didn't say there was one. I'm saying there isn't one attached, correct?
Correct.
Dr. Brown, I'm going to go through some email exchanges between you and Dr. Murray, okay?
Okay.
And
This
you've
sounds
seen
exciting.
these.
Yes.
In
Emails?
fact, I think you provided them to me over a year ago.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Now, you knew that in these emails that Dr. Murray had provided a report to the prosecution and they weren't happy with that. Is that correct?
Overruled. Answer if you can.
They can, because she's an expert. There's a little bit different in the hearsay thing. So she's able to do more hearsay stuff without it being like hearsay.
I don't know what the exchange was between Dr. Murray and the prosecutor's office.
Doctor, I'm going to show on this device here, if I can remember how to use it. This is an email from Dr. Murray to you, and it's dated September 6th, and it's 10:52 a.m. I'll put this on. Am I doing that correctly? Thank you.
Son to the rescue. I don't know if I've said this before, but they're a father-son duo. And everyone needs a young person.
Oh, I can.
Everyone needs a young person to be doing their electronic stuff.
She says right there, does she not? Susan, that's your first name, correct?
Yes.
The prosecutor's office seems upset with me. So she was upset after she talked to the prosecutor, correct?
This is what she writes in her email.
And so we can assume from that that they were upset with her. Is that correct?
Okay, let's do a reading of this because I don't think they're going to go over the whole thing, and I think it's important to read it. So, Susan, the prosecutor's office seems upset with me that I wasn't more definitive about the burning, but you and I saw what we saw. Those bones look so different from my July visit to my August visit, and we discussed that. I told them that with my microscopy, I might be able to be more definitive, but I wasn't asked to do that, nor was I told of the importance of the burning to their case in order that I might consider doing it. I told them to contact you and see whether you wanted me to examine those more thoroughly or whether we should consider sending them to a fellow forensic anthropologist who specializes in burned bones. Apparently, my report has definitely upset their apple cart, but it is what it is. I could not say at that second visit with a reasonable degree of certainty that those bones had in fact been burned. Could you have said that? I told them that in my opinion it was somewhat of a lucky break that I saw that, thought it, and told Russell, and that prompted the subsequent search. It is what it is. Thanks, and I think they will be calling you to find out what you think should be done from here. Beth.
I don't know how the prosecutor's office felt.
She goes further down, right here. Apparently, my report has definitely upset their apple cart, but it is what it is. Does that tell us that they were upset with her report?
Objection, Your Honor.
I'm going to sustain the objection. Ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to expert testimony, your job is to evaluate the testimony of an expert the same way you evaluate the testimony of any other witness. Sometimes I'm going to allow you to hear evidence which is not necessarily otherwise admissible, things other people say. You are allowed to consider that evidence for the purpose of what effect, if any, it has on this witness's credibility and this witness's opinions. So you are allowed to consider that for that purpose alone. You are not to consider it for the truth of the contents of that, but only what effect it has on this expert. Mr. Rickers, you may continue.
I'm so glad he said that because I kind of went in very, very briefly said it was fine, but he explained it better. Also, it's really weird to me that she's pushing back on this because literally it's not that big of a deal. I mean, like, he's like, so you felt like she was upset? And it's like, she's like, I don't know what their exchange was. It's like, well, she said twice in here that they were upset. So you would think that she thought that they were upset. Like, that's not, just, why are you pushing back on dumb shit?
Thank you, Your Honor. On the same day, that being September 6th, you replied to Dr. Murray, and we'll see this in 1 second here. This is at (1:54 p.m.) Sorry. You read that at the very top of the page? That's your response to her, isn't it?
Yes.
And your response says, if I'd have realized it was so crucial to their game plan, I would have done it.
So her response was, Susan, not histology, but dissecting microscopy. Oh my God. Not histology, but dissecting microscopy. If I'd have realized it was so crucial to their game plan, I would have done it. I have a scope that I can take photos through. I do think that would clarify things in my mind.
What's that mean?
I'm sorry. May
read
I
that first line
correct
for
that?
me?
That was her. She is sending
I'm
that to
sorry.
me. I'm sorry.
I agree. Well, let's go on down to September 6th again.
So understanding that was actually to the witness right now from the forensic anthropologist. She is saying, it's not that I need histology. I need dissecting I want to say microscopy. What is microscopy? If I'd have realized it was so crucial for their game plan, I would have done it. I have a scope that I can take photos through. I do think that would clarify things in my mind. So she's saying, I can do it. So just let me know if you want me to do it. Is what I'm getting from that. So I think that does clarify things. It's not her saying, it's not Dr. Brown saying that. It's Dr. Murray saying, I can do that if you want. I have the tools.
2 p.m. Can you read that?
I think she's going to read it herself.
Yes.
And that's your response.
Yes.
And can you read that for the jury out loud?
I also did not realize it was a crucial part of their game plan. If you would like to do this extra step and they would like for you to do this, it is fine with us. Do you want to ask them if they want that to happen, or would you like for me to talk to Russell, Dr. Updegrove, about it? They have not called me about any of the findings in your report.
And then her immediate response to you, immediate being a couple hours later, go on down, please. And she says to you, and I underlined this, I'm happy to do a second exam and addendum to the report. But if I don't see it, that's what I have to say. And she goes on to further say, I ain't gonna lie to them, but I sure ain't gonna lie for them.
What? I ain't gonna lie to them, but I sure ain't gonna lie for them. There's like bad blood between Dr. Murray and the prosecutor's office, it sounds like. It sounds like they got really pissed off when she said there's burning and then there's, just kidding, there was no burning. False alarm, which I imagine is because they went through with it and then got a false confession regarding it. So they're pissed off at her about it, which is kind of understandable, but that's why you don't do the read technique. But it sure sounds like they're not. That is whoa, that is exciting.
Correct?
Yes.
When she says for them, we know it's the prosecutor, correct?
Correct.
Look at their faces. They're not happy. They're not happy about that. I'm pretty sure his pauses are intentional.
May I 1 second, Your Honor?
You may.
He's taking this much longer than he needs to.
Now, you're aware that she was happy to do a second or third exam of these remains and do an addendum to a report, are you not?
That's what she says.
So you are aware that she was willing to do...
Yes, I am.
And to do an addendum?
Yes.
It's weird to me that you didn't do
You're aware
it.
that, I'm going to show you, this is an email between Mr. Knippen and Dr. Murray.
Your Honor, I'm going to object and ask to approach.
You may. Mr. Rickers, you may continue.
Thank you, Your Honor. Dr. Allen, I'm going to show you an email between Dr. Murray and Mr. Knipman. Okay?
Sounds like the prosecutors did not win that objection, and now we get to hear tea between them, so that's exciting.
Okay? And I only want to look at the highlighted portion here for the purposes of your testimony today. That says, this is from Mr. Knipman to Dr. Murray. If it is now your opinion that you do not believe that there is any evidence to suggest that the bones were burned, I will need you to do an addendum to your report with this additional information so it can be provided to defense counsel. We never got that report, right?
I did not get a report.
And from the emails that we've covered, it was clear that she would have been more than happy to do another exam to help you to come to a right conclusion, correct? It's clear that she wanted to do another exam. Yes?
Yes.
Thank you. And just so I'm clear, neither one of you, meaning Dr. Murray and you, Dr. Brown, really didn't understand that the burning was a big part of their case, correct?
I was not aware of that. No.
Why did that take so long to answer that question? That's weird.
All right. Let's talk about your report. Let me start over here. You indicated that you can't do this in a vacuum. That's why you looked at the interrogations of Skylar, correct?
Yes.
And I assume you looked at the photos of the grave.
I did not have any photos of the grave provided.
Didn't she say she used the, didn't she say that she used that? I thought she said that she used the, burial site for her. I thought she said that. Did she just use the idea of it? She didn't see. That's so weird. This is so strange to me because it sounds like she didn't get a lot of collateral information, which is strange because you want it. I mean, like, at least as a forensic psychologist, for instance, because that's what I know the most of, you would want as much information as you could. So, of course, you do a battery of tests with the person. So, like you do, like the MMPI type thing to diagnose or find anything, whatever, if they're malingering or anything like that. But then you also look at their historical medical records, any kind of other medical records, any kind of old police reports, whether like interviews with family members, anything that you can get, you're looking at. You're going to see, basically what I would do is be like, give me everything you got. I'll pick and choose what I need. I don't want you to decide what I need. I'll decide what I need. And it sounds like she didn't do that. Because if they said the baby was buried and they didn't provide any pictures, wouldn't you be like, can I see pictures of the burial site? You would want that. You want as much information as you can so that you can you want as much data, right? You want as much data as you can get so you can have the most precise answer that you can back up the best. And it's weird to me that she didn't do that. And then they said, there's some confusion about this thing. She's willing to provide a second exam, an addendum. You just got to ask her to do it. And then nobody asked her. That's just weird to me. Why? What? That's not good. That's not good practice. And it looks really bad. Especially if you know better. It looks bad.
Did you have any photos whatsoever of the backyard?
No,
You didn't think it was important?
I didn't have that provided to me.
That's her doing that. Her saying that. I didn't have any provided to me. That's not, yeah. Then you ask for it. I imagine you would think that some kind of pictures were taken, right? Like this isn't Massachusetts. There are probably actual pictures taken of the actual scene, right? With information that you could either not use or use. Maybe you won't need any of it, but it sure would be nice to see. You would want to say, at least say, I looked at it and took it into consideration. Not, I had no idea. Nobody gave it to me. Like, is this your first? Did you just fall out of a coconut tree? Like, what's going on?
Right.
That's kind of, it
Again,
wasn't me.
concentrating on the skull and the fractures that you just told us when Ms. Kraft was questioning you. You don't know whether those fractures happened before or after. Is that correct?
Correct.
Now, as I recall your testimony, and we've talked about it on my cross, is that you hired Dr. Murray not only to determine the age of Annabelle, but you also retained her to determine if there was any trauma, correct?
Correct.
And that she didn't have that opportunity, did she? She didn't have that opportunity to microscopically examine that fracture, did she?
She did not microscopically examine the fracture. She grossly, with her eyes, examined the remains.
Same as you. You use your eyes.
Correct.
You don't even have the type of microscope at your office to examine those fractures closely, do you?
I do not have a dissecting microscope.
Didn't she say in the email that she had one, that Dr. Murray said she had a scope she could use? So I feel like that's not a very good excuse. She said she has one. Why was one not used? This is to Dr. Murray too. You just saw maybe some burn marks and were like, oh my God, there's burn marks, and then just like ran out. Like, you thought maybe there were signs of thermal injury, and then you didn't even bother to look at the actual fractures on the skull? What is going on?
Now, you remember when I sent to you a number of reports. I think you've gone over some of those with Ms. Kraft, is that right?
Yes.
One of those reports is from Dr. Latham. Remember that?
Yes.
Dr. Latham was hired by the prosecutors. You know that?
Yes.
Did they?
I didn't know that. I thought Dr. Latham would have been, I don't know, not by the prosecutor's office. That's weird. I don't know why that's weird, but it's just weird. I didn't know that. Now I know.
They provide you with Dr. Latham's report.
I don't remember who provided me with the report.
Well, did you get more than one report of Dr. Latham?
I don't recall.
Wouldn't the prosecution have sent their own forensic anthropologist's report to you? That's really weird that she doesn't know. That's really weird that she doesn't know. That's weird. They should send over their own reports to their forensic pathologist so she could do her report right.
Well, we know that at least I provided it to you, correct?
Yes.
And you read it.
Yes.
And Dr. Slavon, Dr. Latham.
I'm sorry, I'm going back. So the jury now may think it's possible the prosecution didn't send their own forensic anthropologist's report to the forensic pathologist, so the defense had to do that. That's something that could be going through the jury's mind, because that sure as fuck is going through my mind. Because if she says I don't remember, and he says, well, you know, you got it from me, basically, and she's like, yeah. Interesting.
Indicates in her report, if you remember, that there were no signs of homicidal trauma to those remains. Correct? She doesn't use homicidal, she uses no trauma to those remains that are a result of any violence. Is that correct?
Well, I don't remember exactly how it reads, but yes, that is what she indicated.
Okay. Whoa. Sorry, we're stopping again. You're telling me, Dr. Brown, that you were provided a forensic anthropologist that was from the prosecution. You were provided their report about whether or not those fractures were from violence, which is what the anthropologist was going to do, which apparently Dr. Murray never did because she had a microscope and she didn't use it. So instead of doing an addendum and updating your opinion as you should, you just didn't? What? Oh, you were provided more information. That's like what the whole beginning was, where you're like, it's not in a vacuum and everything. You have to have all this collateral information. You didn't think that that was going to be something that you should do? And then you're going to get up on the stand here and actually provide some kind of opinion? Bitch, please.
She is a trained forensic anthropologist, correct? You don't know?
I have had no contact with Dr. Latham. I read her report. I'm sure she's a trained anthropologist.
Thank you. And again, you said you were open in this investigation to fill in the vacuum. Why isn't that part of your report? Why isn't Dr. Latham's report, Dr. Latham, who was hired by the prosecution, why isn't that an addendum to your report, showing that those fractures were not a result of any homicidal injury? Why is it?
May I reference my report?
You can reference it here. I'll put it up on the board.
What I reference in my report in terms of the fractures is that I can't determine if they are pre or post mortem.
That's not what he said, though. That's not what he said. That's literally not answering anything.
Someone else, you hired Dr. Murray originally, the forensic pathologist, to determine what's the cause of the trauma. Did you not? It's in her report that you did. Yes?
That was one of the reasons that we hired her.
Right.
Yes.
But she didn't get that opportunity, did she? She didn't microscopically look at those fractures, did she?
She did not.
Right. And so, your report and what you testified to when Ms. Kraft was talking to you is that you don't know whether those fractures are before or after, right?
Correct.
Pre, post mortem, right?
Correct.
Yet you were given a report by Dr. Laken, hired by the prosecution, that said that those fractures had nothing to do with any death. Why didn't you attach that to your report? Why didn't you make an addendum?
She was not hired by our office and thus providing the report to me. The report was provided to the prosecutor's office.
But then I provided it to you. Did you check with the prosecutors and say, is this true? You hired Dr. Latham and you didn't send me the report? Did you do that? Did you do that?
I do not recall whether the prosecutor provided the report to me.
Well, did you call them
This is
after I provided
frustrating.
it to you?
I don't recall that I called them.
The answer is no. You didn't do that. Just say no. Don't do this pussyfooting around, okay? You look stupid.
But that report indicates that instead of Perry, there wasn't any question. Those fractures were post-mortem. No question.
According to Dr. Latham, they are post-mortem.
I'm going to interject again. I'm sorry. It's just that this is doing a really good job of undermining. So the prosecution, when they were doing the direct, were like, but you'd be open to getting more information and changing your opinion, right? And she's like, of course I would. And now they're like, so you did get more information. And what the fuck did you do? You didn't fucking do shit. So I guess you're not. I guess you're not open to new information that would change your opinion. She's one of those scientists or like people that do science that like refuse to have the answer be, I don't know. She has to always be right. And then if someone has more information that like disproves what she says, she's like, no, hush. That's unethical and shitty.
So why did you come in here and tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury that I can't tell whether the fractures were before or after death?
Objection. Come on, you guys. Come on. That is objectionable. He's like making fun of the witness. And I also am okay with it because I'm upset with her. But like, come on, you guys. He said 6767.
Because
when you have Dr. Latham's report,
I'm providing the jury with my opinion, which was I couldn't tell.
Miss, I use all kinds of different information, for instance, using police interviews, but I wouldn't use a forensic anthropologist's opinion. That's not good enough, but like a interview where she says no a million times and then finally says yes, that's what you're going to go with. Come the fuck on, bitch. You're done. You're done. You're done. I mean, like, seriously.
I have a lot of questions. Number one, how dare you?
I apologize, and I hate to be beating a dead horse, but you just told us through the examination conducted by Ms. Kraft that you're open to other evidence. Well, there's other evidence, right? Dr. Latham's report is other evidence.
Look at the guy in the gallery behind him. He's just like, he's exactly it.
Well, there's other evidence.
Look at him.
Dr. Latham's report is other evidence, and you didn't bother to attach that as an addendum to your report, did you?
Objection, Your Honor, asked and answered.
Overruled. Go ahead.
I did not attach a copy of Dr. Latham's report to my report.
Answer the fucking question. Not being willing to answer the question that makes you look bad makes you look worse. It's like not admitting that you're wrong. Sorry, my pigs are being loud. It's like never being. They're so loud and obnoxious. Did you hear them barking? Okay, sorry. Anyway, when you refuse to admit that you're wrong, that makes you look wronger. Like all wronger with no W, just RONG.
I apologize, Dr. Brown. I should have stated it this way. You didn't write an addendum to attach to your original report to say that based on Dr. Latham's report that any fractures that you observed were post-mortem.
Correct.
Thank you.
That was a big sigh.
Just so the jury
These pauses are definitely to have her marinate.
is clear on this, Dr. Allen Brown. You already testified that you don't have the microscope or whatever we call it to be able to examine those bones, correct?
We do not have a dissecting microscope.
And so this opinion of yours was based on eyeballing the fractures?
Yes.
You eyeballed, I'm sorry, did you say
Yes.
Oh. And yet, you had to bring in Dr. Murray, a forensic anthropologist, and the prosecution had to bring in a forensic anthropologist to determine whether there was any trauma, correct? Yes or no?
Yes.
And the reason we had to bring in forensic anthropologists is because they're trained to examine fractures like that to determine whether or not they contributed to death or whether they were after death. Correct? Yes or no?
Yes.
Him having to constantly ask yes or no, correct, and have her finally answer, so frustrating, and it's not a good look to the jury. Not just to me, to the jury.
The first time that Dr. Murray, the forensic anthropologist, came to examine those bones was July 20th, correct?
Yes.
And as a result of her opinion, which we now know was incorrect, that being that the bones were charred, but as a result of that, your office, through, I believe it was Dr. Updegrove, because he testified to this 2 days ago, called Detective Fain and said that the forensic anthropologist said that the remains had been burned. Remember that? Yes or no? It's very simple.
I believe that he called, yes.
His commentary being allowed is so interesting that they're not even bothering to object to it is weird to me.
And told the detective that the bones, the remains of Annabelle had been burned.
Yes.
Oh, and by the way, that reminds me, when the prosecutor was showing you these remains, all these remains that you put of Annabelle up there, and you circled I think it was part of the rib bones, that they looked dark and stuff. That was because those remains of Annabelle were wet, correct?
I don't know why they were darkened.
I do think it would have been beneficial to have pictures later. If they looked different, right? It would be good to have ones before and ones after, just because it sounds based on that email, they looked very different. So I feel like it would have been beneficial to have photos taken when they looked different, right?
Didn't you have a conversation with Dr. Murray when she came back on August 17th. She did, right?
Yes.
She came back on August 17th, and she says, oh, I can no longer say that the remains were burned. Didn't she say that to you?
Yes.
And didn't she say, you and I looked at that back on July 20th, and boy, it looked kind of burned, but I wasn't sure, but now I can't say it because they're no longer wet. Didn't she say that?
I don't recall that she said they were no longer wet. She said that they looked different.
That they were dry. Did she say that?
I don't recall if she said they were dry.
I got it. So, we do know, though, that because of that opinion that was corrected later, that that information was passed on to Detective Fain, correct?
Yes.
We also know that as a result of that opinion, which later turned out to be wrong, that that led to a second search of the residence, meaning the yard and the gravesite, correct?
Yes.
And we also know that that also led to the second interrogation of Skylar, correct?
Yes.
That is interesting to note because if that if that opinion had not been made by Dr. Murray that it's not possible there is thermal injury. I don't even think she said there's thermal injury. I think she said there's darkening. It's possible there's thermal injury. Tell Dr. Updegrove. Updegrove then tells Detective Fain. Fain then decides we're going to have to do another. He believes it. Full fact. There's definitely thermal injury on the bones. And then they do the second interrogation, which if you watch my read technique, you'll understand. It's the interrogation. First, there's a behavioral analysis interview. And then there's an interrogation. And this is the interrogation because this is when they decide that she is guilty. So they then, with that opinion, decided they were going to then interrogate her, read technique, and elicit a false confession from her. Why do I keep saying it's a false confession? Because she confesses to something that's physically impossible. You'll see it. They'll probably allude to it in here, but she did confess to setting her baby on fire and it being flammable, basically. They will likely allude to it in this because it's absolutely a ridiculous thing to say. But if that opinion had never been made, Fruit of the Poisonous Tree, none of this would have happened. We wouldn't be here, right? It would probably, she would have just gotten misdemeanor for abuse of a corpse or something like that. I don't know if that's a misdemeanor. I don't know. But you know what I mean? Like it wouldn't have been that. It wouldn't be this. It wouldn't be aggravated murder, right? Okay.
All right. Let's go to, on your report, right here. Reported history from police interview of attempted incineration. All right? This is the topic we're going to cover now.
I take that to mean she took that piece of information, the report of the attempted incineration, into her reasoning of it being homicide, would be my guess. I don't know why, because it was post-mortem, and if they're trying, anyway. But I'm pretty sure that's what that is there for, because it would have nothing to do with anything else, right? So.
Now, I believe you indicated, since you don't, when you do your investigation, you don't do these in vacuums, right?
Yes.
I love that it keeps bringing that up.
And as I understand it, you relied on not only the remains of Annabelle that you had put in some sort of order, but also on these police interrogations, correct?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that? I missed the first part of
I
what you said.
apologize if I'm not speaking loudly enough. I said you indicated that you came to your conclusions, how about that? Based on your putting together the skeletal remains, right?
Yes,
The police interrogations
yes,
and reports of the scene, is that what I heard?
yes.
Anything else? Did you consider anything else?
Information about the age determination from the anthropologist.
Okay, Dr. Murray, when looking at the bones, did a certain measurement which told her the approximate gestation age of the fetus. Is that correct?
Correct.
Anything else?
No.
That's it.
Yes.
Okay. Now, again, we're going to the topic of attempted incineration. And
I like how he narrates what we're doing. Okay, now we're moving on to the incineration of the body. Chapter 2.
you are aware, like most of the world, that when Skylar was indicted on August 4th, that prosecutor's office held a press conference for 30 minutes or so and announced to the world that not only did...
Sustained. Barry will disregard that question.
So, let's, again, staying on topic here, the attempted incineration. On September 6th, when we went through these emails earlier in your examination by me.
Is anyone else being completely... I can't stop looking at this like guy in the back. He's tripping out. It looks like, I swear to you, he's like on Molly or something. Like he's just like he's, I don't know what's going on with him. I think it's more than ADHD. He's not doing okay, and it's really distracting to me. I can't stop looking at the Sanjaya motherfucker.
We knew that the prosecutor wasn't happy with Dr. Murray's report, correct? Because she changed her opinion about the burn, correct?
That's what it sounds like from the emails.
And again, you, well, let's talk about the fact that the anthropologists that have been hired, there were 3 of them. We had Dr. Murray, we have Dr. Laken, hired by the prosecutor, and we have Dr. Sims, who was hired by us. All 3 of them agree that the remains were not burned, correct?
Correct.
Now, I didn't quite understand when, not because, it might be because of my hearing, and I'm not kidding, I have a hard time sometimes hearing things. When Ms. Kraft was questioning you, I thought you said that you either, did you review the video? Is that what you did to come to your conclusions? The video of the interrogation of Skylar?
I did 2 things, looked at both the video along with the written transcript.
Now, Doctor, I'm going to show you a few clips. I believe it's from the second interview.
Spoilers.
Let me take this off the board here for a minute. And when we see all these clips,
See what, Mr. Rickers, why don't we take a break so that we can get the technical aspects of this all set up. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a break for the morning. Remember what I have previously told you. Do not be.
Okay, looks like we're taking a break. And by we, I mean the court will not take a break. We're just going to pop right back in.
Everybody able to follow my instructions and admonitions over the break? Yes, sir. Mr. Rickers, you may resume.
thank you, Your Honor. Dr. Brown, I think where we left off, and we're on the topic of the self-admission of incineration of baby Annabelle, correct? We're on that topic. You know that.
Okay.
Now, you told us again, just so that we're all on the same page, that part of your opinion was based on these interrogation tapes, correct?
Yes.
I'm going to show you several clips from that interrogation tape. I believe it was July 20th. Okay, this was after a call from your office to Lieutenant Vane, giving him information that Dr. Murray had thought.
Can everybody just look at Sanjaya for a second? I don't know what his actual name is, obviously, but he reminds me a lot of Sanjaya, so that's what I'm going to keep calling him. Is he smelling his fingers? Is he picking his nose? Is he doing both? I can't focus on what's going on when Sanjaya's over here picking his nose and smelling his fingers. I'm terribly sorry. I'm probably going to have to go back. Also, Andrew Garfield guy, he is pursing his lips so intensely. I did not know you could make your lips that small. He has so much anxiety, it looks like. I'm imagining he's never really worked with his dad, so he's afraid his dad is just about to like go off the deep end or something. That's what it looks like. It's really funny though, because I realized I like this guy's questioning style so much, and I'm pretty sure it's because it reminds me so much of my dad's. He reminds me a lot of my dad's questioning style, and that face is the face I make when I'm like, oh God, what's he about to say?
That the baby's remains were burned, okay?
Okay.
Would you play number 50? Do I have to tell you, or you know which numbers I want?
I can play 57 through 71 sequentially.
Great, thank you.
Put him on the fire. No fire. Didn't burn her. I promise on anything I didn't burn her. My dad has lots of. I didn't burn her.
This is rather jarring. Could we have more than like 1 nanosecond?
Are you sure? I swear on anything.
Let's go back one. Go back one and go slower, please.
I didn't burn her. Are you sure? I swear on anything. That, sure? That I'm sure of. That I'm sure of. You didn't did you burn anything around her? Did you try to maybe melt the dirt or anything?
Stop.
Melt the dirt? Melt the dirt? Oh my God. Melt the dirt? What the fuck?
Put that back on, please.
You didn't did you burn anything around her? Did you try to maybe melt the dirt or anything? Or any reason for any of that? No. Understand or anything? No, and I
did nothing with fire. Nothing.
Is it possible originally you put her in the fire pit before you...
No.
I don't mean with a lit fire, but you put her in the fire pit.
No.
Like, what about, like, some other heat source? Was there any heat involved in anything? This was been after she was dead, so it's not like...
No.
No microwave, no oven, no nothing, like... Just...
No easy bake.
The towel was black.
No, I mean, we know there was some sort of fire. I know it's...
And I understand it.
Keep that on there. So
It goes away.
No, I mean, we know there was some sort of fire. I know it's...
you remember those clips? Not the clips, but you remember the interview where that was said during the initial stage of the interview, Dr. Brown?
Yes,
Did you ignore those statements, Dr. Brown?
I did not.
Did you see her surprised, or didn't she act surprised when they asked her, tell us about the fire? Didn't you think that she was surprised by that? Yes or no?
I don't know.
Yeah.
When he mutters under his breath afterwards, like, yeah. I fucking love it. I don't know if nobody else can hear it in the court, so they don't know to be like, can you fucking stop doing that? But, like, it's fantastic.
I assume, so that you're not deciding this in a vacuum, I'm assuming that you read Detective Carter's report where she claimed that Skylar lit her baby's foot with a lighter and put out the flames after they reached her chest. Did you read that in her report?
I did not read her report.
Wasn't part of this analysis, this filling the vacuum so you can come up with an opinion?
I did not read her report.
Doctor, this has been marked as Defendant's Exhibit 11. And, okay, thank you.
LL.
Exhibit LL. I don't know what I said, but can you hold it up? Push, no, where, at the top where I show the, thank you. Doctor, at the very top of the page, right here, that's, Kathy Edwards is my legal assistant. But I sent this March 15th, 2018 email to you, is that correct?
Yes.
And I did that after you and I had a phone conversation that you were kind enough to set up with me to talk about your findings, correct?
Yes.
And let's go to the bottom. We discussed only one report during that. I'm an idiot when it comes to these things. We discussed just Lavon's report, but you also, I sent to you all the other reports too, correct?
Yes.
Doctor, I'm confirming our conversation in this email, correct?
Yes.
And in confirming that, where I say right here, finally, when I ask you if it was possible to put a lighter to a baby's leg and ignite that baby to where the flames are waist high, you indicated, what did you say? Can you read that for me?
I never tried it. I don't know.
What? What? Look at the gallery's face to that. Except for Sanjaya. I don't know if he knows what universe we're in. But like, I have no words. I have no words. I don't know. I've never tried it. About setting a baby on fire? About how flammable a baby is? No wonder he obviously has animosity towards her. That's the most biggest bunch of bullshit, absolute garbage I can't even imagine. You are a doctor. You are an expert. You don't think that it would be, I don't know, have just a tiny amount of respect to answer that question with just a sliver of decency? Do you think that you could light a baby's leg on fire? I don't know. I've never tried it. Hardy har har. What? Not only that that's so rude, but also, so you're not going to answer the actual fucking question, right? That's what she does. She doesn't answer the questions that she doesn't want to answer that go against her own narrative. Oh my God. But like that, your credibility's gone, lady. It's gone. You say, I don't know, I've never tried it about setting a baby on fucking fire. Your credibility's gone. That's disgusting. That's disgusting. I'm not saying you can't have a morbid sense of humor, but you never actually answered the question. That was your answer to the question. Do you know what the answer should be? Of course not. Of course you can't fucking do that. Babies aren't flammable. We don't have to send warnings home with newborn babies saying keep away from open flame, will just burst into flame by being too close to a fucking lighter. What the fuck? I'm going to just be silent here because I'm muttering to myself, so I can't even.
And then I ask you if any of the above, where we summarize Dr. Levon's report, I said, if I misstated anything in my confirming email, please let me know of any corrections, correct?
Yes.
And you responded pretty quickly. We'll see it in 1 minute. Let me see that time. Again, same date. This was at 3:22, or 32, I apologize, 32, right? This is your response to my confirmation of what we discussed, correct?
Clear.
Correct.
Now, the only thing that you corrected was that regarding statement number 2, you identified multiple fractures, correct?
Yes.
That's the only thing. You did not correct, going back to my original confirmation, that you said, I never tried it, meaning putting a lighter to a baby's leg, having the baby combust and have flames up to her chest. You did say, I never tried it, I don't know, didn't you?
Yes.
Thank you.
Disgusting. Disgusting. And you never even bothered changing it.
Doctor, based on your medical background, you'd agree that a baby is 75 to 80% water, wouldn't you? Yes or no?
Yes.
And would you agree that trying to light a baby on fire with a lighter, that would be similar to trying to light a wet toilet paper roll on fire? Do you agree with that?
I don't know.
Doctor?
They should have an expert witness of a really, really terrible person who's like a murderer who's like, well, as somebody who's tried to burn many bodies, it's very difficult. I'm just kidding. And that's morbid sense of humor. And it's in response to this fucking bullshit. That's a really weird analogy, though, of a wet toilet paper roll. I feel like you would say everyone would be catching on fire all the time. You know? Like, it doesn't have to be a wet toilet paper roll. It can be, I don't know, me, you, any of us. How many of us have put a lighter up to, you know...
Are you saying that based on that interview, you think that Skylar tried to light her baby on fire? Is that what you're telling us?
Yes.
Go the fuck home. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. You're serious? You seriously think that she miraculously set her baby on fire? And you're a doctor? Should we go to every other... Are we going to have to, like, man Shannon check your, like... Are you kidding me? You're a doctor. You've done expert in many different cases and never... Oh, my God.
Do you know how many BTUs are in a flame of a lighter?
No.
Do you know how many BTUs it takes to burn a human body?
No.
Have you ever heard of warnings from any governmental agency or anywhere that tells you when lighting the barbecue?
Just had some technical issues. We are back. Hopefully you won't even notice that it happened.
Lighting the barbecue, for a barbecue, watch out, you may combust into flames. Have you ever heard of a warning like that?
No.
I raised 2 children. We had fireplaces. We had fires outside. I don't remember ever telling my children, be careful, don't get too close to the fire because they're going to combust.
Your Honor,
Just because.
objection. I'm not sure if there's a question here or just a from me.
Go ahead and finish your question.
Thank you. Would you agree that that's silly? We don't just combust. Isn't that silly? Yes or no?
We do not combust.
And when I say combust, we're talking about putting like a little lighter to a baby's foot or leg and they just all of a sudden burst into flames. That doesn't make sense, does it? Yes or no?
No.
Thank you.
Yet somehow, here we are with your report and your opinion.
Yeah. We're looking now at Defendant's Exhibit YY. That's the very back of the yard along the tree line where eventually Skylar pointed out to the police that were there where her baby was buried. You never saw that photo in your determining what your opinion was?
No.
Let's go. Doctor, this is Exhibit DDD, Defense Exhibit DDD. That's a picture we learned earlier from either Dr. Updegrove or one of the deputies. That's the gravesite. You ever see that?
No.
Didn't think it was important to look at it?
I had a report from the Warren County coroner as to the scene that he went to. I did not see a picture.
Well, wouldn't it have helped to look at that picture to see if there was any ashes or anything that would show that that baby was lit on fire and had flames up to its chest? Wouldn't that be kind of important for you as a forensic anthropologist? Wouldn't that be important?
I'm
Yes
a
or no?
pathologist, but I did not receive reports that they had seen information
Well,
to
Doctor-
show that.
I'm sorry. I apologize. Did you finish your answer?
Yes?
Doctor, you work with police and prosecutors as part of your job, do you not?
Yes.
And if you need more information, you ask for it, don't you?
Yes.
And by the way, you don't do any moonlighting, do you? You don't, like if somebody who is defending somebody wrongfully accused and asks you to render opinion, you don't do that, do you?
I do not do that.
So your job is to, as you said earlier, determine causes of death, manner of death, and you only work with prosecutors and police officers, correct? Yes or no?
Well, I will appear in court by subpoena with whoever subpoenas me, defense or prosecutor.
So the answer to my question is what? Do you work only with police officers and prosecutors?
Judge, Your Honor, she just answered the question.
Overruled. Go ahead and answer if you can.
If I receive a subpoena from the defense, I will respond to the defense just as I talked with the defense on the telephone when he requested.
He's asking you, like, you work for the county coroner, right? The same county that employs the county prosecutor's office, the county sheriffs, that you work with that? You are all under the same umbrella? So you would work with them, not for them, with them, right?
That we talk.
Maybe I'm not stating my question correctly. What I'm getting to here, Dr. Brown, is that in doing your job with the Montgomery County Coroner's Office as a pathologist, you work with prosecutors and with police officers. Yes or no?
Yes.
And in filling this vacuum that you told us all about, you didn't think it was necessary to look at scene photographs? No? You didn't think it was necessary?
In terms of the scene, I had a report from the Warren County coroner, and they did not take any scene photographs. So I did not see any scene photographs.
You didn't ask the police for the photographs that they took?
I did not.
Have you ever been around a campfire?
Yes?
Do you ever build a campfire?
Probably not.
Do you ever clear bushes under trees and then burn them where the little leaves and branches? You ever done that?
No.
Would you agree that when you burn something and it's on the ground, that it leaves a mark showing the burn area? Would you agree with that?
I don't know what kind of mark it's going to leave.
Don't you think that's kind of important when you claim that you believe Skylar burned her baby and the flames came up to her chest? Don't you think that's important? Yes or no?
The important information I did gather from the Warren County coroner who went to the scene and did the recovery.
So no, you don't think that's important. Just fucking answer the question. No, you don't think that's important.
So you didn't fill this vacuum with any pictures or reports from the police, did you?
A report, a verbal report, not a picture.
A verbal report from who?
The Warren County coroner who
Just
went to the scene.
Dr. Updegrove.
Just a verbal report, not even a written report? Like he just was like, we dug up some bones, here they are? What?
Yeah. And he didn't report seeing any burning, did he?
No.
And doctor, looking at this picture that was taken by the police, defendant's exhibit DDD, that's the gravesite. Do you see any evidence of any burning whatsoever?
No.
You don't know. You're telling this jury you believe she burned her baby, but you don't know whether it would leave any kind of evidence in the ground. Is that what you're telling us?
I'm telling you that based on the police interview, her statement was that she attempted to cremate her baby.
This would be a really good time to bring up confirmation bias, because that's what you're describing, and that's what she obviously did. So now would be a good time to bring that up.
But based on that interview, you didn't want to develop it any further. You didn't want to support your decision that you thought that maybe she burned her baby, correct? You didn't ask for any photos of the scene to show any burn marks that would verify that this actually happened?
Again, I had a verbal report from Dr. Updegrove, the Warren County coroner, who went to the scene.
I didn't ask that question.
I did not see any photographs.
I ask you, if, don't you think, as a forensic anthropologist that comes in here and tells this jury that this child burned her baby, don't you think it's kind of important?
That's an interesting overruled. He just called her a child. She was 18 when she delivered this baby. She hasn't been a child since it was conceived. So it's kind of, I'm okay with it. I think this judge is over this dumb bitch. I mean, not really. He shouldn't have anything to do with that. But that is an interesting overruling.
To at least find some evidence of that? Yes or no?
It is important, and my evidence was based on her interview.
Without anything supporting that. And you don't even know that a human being can be lit on fire with a lighter. You think that's possible?
I think it's possible that you can have your hair catch on fire.
What the fuck
That
did
wasn't
that
the
happen?
report. That wasn't what she said. That wasn't what she said in her interview. You didn't see where she said, oh, I took a lighter and burned her hair, did you?
What she said was, I tried to cremate my baby.
That's what she said after a whole
Let
bunch
the
of stuff.
jury decide when they see this interview.
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustained. The jury will disregard that remark.
Well, they will decide.
Let's
They will
go
get to that. That's their
to
job.
your reported history of a live birth. You watched all 8 hours of the interrogations, correct?
Yes.
And in the process of coming to your opinions, you knew that Skylar was still in high school and she had just turned 18 when she gave birth to a stillborn baby. You were aware of that? Yes or no? Were you aware of it?
I am not aware that the baby was stillborn. Yes, I am aware of the other facts.
Well, you're aware addition to the age of Skylar, and you're aware that she just turned 18.
This is kind of compound.
And I take it from the interrogation, you're aware that they took her in to a 6x8 windowless room to talk about this tragic event. You're aware of that, are you not?
Sustained. Jury will disregard that question.
Are you aware, let me rephrase it. You're aware that they put her in a 6x8 interrogation room, correct?
I don't know the dimensions of the room.
And you're aware that it was windowless, right?
I don't know if there's a window in the room.
Okay. We're still.
It's so annoying to me because she refuses to answer yes or no. And like, I feel like it would be better for her to say no. Instead of like, you're aware that she was in a 6x8 room. No. You're aware that it was in a windowless room. No. Make him do more work. If you have a problem with him, make him do more work. He's obviously doing compound questions. And then you were aware she was in a 6x8 room, correct? No. And then make him dig further to your point being, I don't know what the dimensions of the room are. It just is, her choice of never wanting to answer the fucking question isn't always the best thing. If you're trying to be a butthead, be a butthead. You can do it by just answering yes or no questions, yes or no, and then have him dig for more.
On the topic of evidence of a live birth. In watching these interviews, did you pay any attention to the fact that Skylar said that she did not cut the umbilical cord?
Yes.
You did. What did you paid attention to that? When a baby comes out and its umbilical cord is not attached, what does that mean, doctor?
Not attached.
Not attached. You don't have to cut it. What does that mean to you?
An umbilical cord not being attached would mean at some point it broke.
Would the baby die as a result of not getting oxygen and nutrients from that umbilical cord?
A baby can die in those circumstances.
Pretty exciting if it didn't.
You realize that in watching the interrogation, that the detectives didn't follow up on any of that, did they? Did they?
They asked her several times about the umbilical cord.
Was that because they were surprised that she didn't cut it?
I do not know why they asked certain questions and did not ask other questions.
Let me ask you this. Did they appear surprised when they went back to that subject? You didn't cut the umbilical cord?
I don't know that they were surprised.
Huh.
If you remember, when they first asked that and they were surprised by it, her reaction was like, oh my God, I fucked up. Like, it was my fault. I should have, I don't know, done something differently with the umbilical cord. Like, she was, so then of course she's like, I don't know. I don't remember. I don't remember, because they were like, it wasn't attached, and it's like, wrong answer. And her, what I get from her affect is that she needs support. Like, she's like constantly like, I need your affirmation. And so when they were like, what? And she was like, oh fuck, I mean, I don't know, you know what I mean? But her reaction it was surprised that that wasn't normal, and like, what did I do wrong because of that?
Doctor, this may be out of your expertise, but I would think that you'd fill the vacuum with this. When a woman, a pregnant woman or a pregnant girl, is in their third trimester and they're bleeding, does that say anything to you? Do you have any?
This and they're bleeding in their third trimester is like such a not influential argument. I feel like that they put way too, look at my pause game on this dude. They put way too much emphasis on it, I think, because she was a lot of times those with EDs who have a history of it in their medical record, and also have irregular periods, don't want to bring up their irregular periods because it is a symptom and a sign that they're not doing well, right? So they don't want to even bring that up because then it becomes opening a can of worms that they don't want to talk about. So oftentimes they just say, oh yeah, it's normal. When was your last period? Oh, like a couple weeks ago or whatever. It's lying, but it's not like being like maliciously lying. It's just like, I don't even want to have this conversation. If I say I don't want to tell you, then, you get all upset about it. And if I tell you they're irregular, then you're going to be like, is it because you are struggling with your ED? So they just don't. So this argument, I keep looking at his face. This argument. Okay, this argument that she was bleeding in her third trimester based on what she told the doctor is just kind of a nothing argument, in my opinion. I wouldn't continue to put so much emphasis on it.
What that means?
I would go see a doctor.
So you don't think that could be a sign of any kind of placenta issue?
I would go see an OBGYN.
I didn't ask that question, doctor. I know you're trying to help the prosecution.
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustained.
I'd like for you to answer my
Richardson.
question.
I'm not an OBGYN. I would go see an OBGYN.
Just say, you are correct. That is out of my expertise. I wouldn't feel comfortable making a decision about that. I would go see a doctor. There you go. That's all you have to do. It's not that fucking hard. Say, I don't know. I don't know. That's not my expertise. I would go to an expert. If that's not normal, which it's not, right? Then I would go and talk to a doctor. That is an expert in it. Like, that's not that hard. She's just being weirdly evasive and like in a weird way. Just say, no, I don't know. You deal with dead bodies. I mean, if nobody's going to be like, I can't believe you don't know about whether or not bleeding in your third trimester could have anything to do with your placenta. Like, no, nobody's thinking that. Nope, everyone's just thinking that it's really weird that you're not answering this fucking question like a normal person.
I didn't ask that question. I asked you about your knowledge. You know what a placenta abruption means, don't you, doctor?
Yes.
You want to tell the jury, isn't that where the placenta pulls away from the uterine wall?
Yes.
Do you remember in your review of these interrogations, do you remember Skylar telling them, meaning the interrogators, that she was spotting on April 3rd?
No.
No. Did you, I don't see it in your report, did you look at Hilltop, her obstetrician's records in coming to your opinion?
Yes, I saw medical records.
You didn't put that in your report. I don't see that in your report. Here, let me put it back up here. I just asked you, I think at the beginning of my cross-examination, everything that you had reviewed in order to come to your conclusion, didn't I?
Yes.
And up here is your report, right?
Yes.
And I don't know if let me see if I can. Can you all see it? Yes. Doctor, this is your report, and this is what you relied upon, correct?
Yes.
Yes or no? A nearly complete set of skeletal remains. Yes?
Yes.
A 30 to 40 week gestation based on Dr. Murray's examination, not yours, correct?
38 to 40.
Yep. Female gender, that's based on the Miami Valley Crime Lab, right?
Yes.
Reported history from police interview of live birth.
Yes.
Reported scene history of recovery of the remains from the backyard burial. Yes?
Yes.
Reported history from police interview of attempted incineration of the infant. That is what you based your report on, correct?
Yes.
So where does it say up there that you reviewed or based your report on the Hilltop records? Dr. Andrews and Dr. Boyce.
It is not listed on the front page of my report. I did review records that were provided to me and did not have anything from those records to include in my report.
Doctor, are those records in your file?
No, we did not create the records in our office. The records were created in a different medical office. We are not the holder of those records.
So you reviewed them and then sent them somewhere, or what? I don't understand.
They are disposed of. They are shredded. They are not a part of our record.
Where'd you get those records from?
I believe the Warren County coroner.
You think that the Dr. Updegrove went and got those records?
I don't recall. I believe that's where I got them.
Did you get those records before or after your report dated September 19th?
Before.
Mm-hmm. Well, in reviewing those records, you saw Dr. Andrews' chart. Chart is another word for record. You saw his chart where he indicated that on April 26th, she had a fundal height. You know what a fundal height is, don't you?
Yes.
Where he,
We all do
Dr.
now.
Andrew, measured her at being 32 weeks pregnant.
Yes.
You remember that from the report?
Yes.
Do you also remember from that report that she reported her last menses, her last period, was April 3rd? Remember that?
I don't recall that.
What is it?
And that's his April 3rd.
Yeah, thank you. This is part of Dr. Is that it?
This is Dr. Andrew.
I just want where.
LNP April 3rd, last month.
Thank you. History of present illness. This 18-year-old Caucasian white male whose LNP was on April 3rd, 2017. Remember reading that? It's part of the report.
I'm sure I read it.
That come into any of your considerations?
Yes, I considered it, and I read the report.
She already said she's. So you said you considered it? Is that what I
Yes.
heard you say? Yes?
Yes.
And you know that, oh, by the way, did you talk to Dr. Andrew?
No.
Did you talk to Randy Carter or the prosecutors about Dr. Andrew telling Skylar that she could expect to deliver a baby within 10 weeks?
No.
You're aware that Skylar gave birth to a stillborn on April?
Overall, go ahead, continue.
Thank you, Your Honor. On May 7th, correct?
I'm aware that she delivered on May 7th, according to police interview.
In the middle of the night. Do you know, or did you bother to count from April 26th to May 7th? That is only 11 days, correct?
Yes.
And according to all of the anthropologists, forensic anthropologists, that fetus was full term, correct?
Yes, that's what they say.
Yeah. So, would you agree, based on that there may have been some type of growth restriction with Skylar's baby?
I don't know.
Well, let me ask you this in your 10 years of experience. Are you aware that having an unexpected delivery at home increases the likelihood of a stillborn? Yes or no?
Yes.
Based on your experience, would you agree that if Annabelle was growth restricted, that it increases the likelihood of a stillbirth? Yes or no?
I do not know that she was growth restricted, but if that is the case, yes.
Thank you. Were you aware in filling this vacuum that you talked about when Ms. Kraft was talking to you?
Drink every time he says vacuum.
Did you look at Skylar's records regarding her eating disorder?
No.
Would you agree that a person who has an eating disorder, a woman or a child, who has an eating disorder, also increases the likelihood of a stillbirth?
I'm not aware of that.
Yeah. Did you talk or have anybody on your behalf talk to Skylar's mom and dad about the problems they were having with her eating disorder?
No.
Doctor, again, I have to go back to the fact that you're talking about this vacuum. You didn't look at any of those things, but you brought in a forensic anthropologist to help you, right?
Yes.
Did you ask for an opinion from an obstetrician, gynecologist, as to the facts as you knew them then? Did you ask for a consult from an obstetrician?
No.
Didn't think it was important, did you? You didn't think it was important, did you?
It wasn't important in terms of the autopsy.
Autopsy being putting the bones together, you didn't do anything else, did you? Did you? Did you do anything else other than make a skeletal remains for pictures?
I did as much of an autopsy as I could, given what was presented to me.
Well, tell us what you did with those bones. Tell us what you did.
Because I was unable to examine the baby at death, I did what I could with skeletal remains, examining the bones, and then also reviewed the information as provided from the scene and also from the police interview, as well as the anthropologist.
So that's part of the autopsy, is not only the examination, but all this extraneous stuff. Is that correct?
It's part of determining the cause and manner of
I
death.
didn't ask that. I asked you if the autopsy, as you use that word, does that include more than just examining the remains of Annabelle?
The autopsy is just my exam.
Thank you. Doctor, we now know you didn't get an OB, an obstetrician's consult. But let me ask you this, in reviewing these interrogations, did you think it was kind of strange when Skylar, for the first time, was describing this birth of a stillborn, that her water didn't break? Did that come into your consideration? Yes or no?
I'm unaware of whether or not her water broke.
Yeah, but we're talking about her interview. When she was asked, did your water break? And she said no. Did that come into your thought process at all?
I don't recall that statement.
Of course you do.
Of course you don't. They can't. There's no way that they hear him muttering that under his breath, and they're just allowing it.
Did it come into your evaluation when she said in that initial interview that the baby wasn't breathing, that the baby didn't have a heartbeat, that the baby was white? Did that come into your consideration?
Yes, it did.
When a baby isn't breathing and the baby is white, meaning it doesn't have oxygen, and we already talked about the umbilical cord being separated, isn't that a description of a stillbirth? Yes or no?
Yes.
My pig is laying on my feet. His name is Hank. And if you see me, I'm saying he's a good boy. He's a good boy. Because he is a good boy.
Doctor, when a woman or a girl delivers the baby and they don't feel water breaking or anything like that, might that be some sign of a problem with the amniotic fluid around the baby? Would you agree with that?
That's possible.
And when you don't have sufficient amniotic fluid, would you agree that that can cause problems with the umbilical cord?
It can cause problems.
This is none of my business, but I feel like something just happened over at the jury. Just watch the gallery behind him.
With the amniotic fluid around the baby, would you agree with that?
Right here.
That's possible.
And when you don't have sufficient amniotic fluid, would you agree that that can cause problems with the umbilical cord?
It can cause problems.
What about Skylar saying she just got on the toilet and the baby came out pretty easily? Does that tell you anything? Does it tell you that maybe that baby was growth restricted? Yes or no?
No.
See? Just say no. If it's gonna be a bother to him, just say no. And then he's like,
Doctor, are you familiar with confirmation bias?
No.
Oh, you haven't. You're a lying dog-faced pony soldier.
You've never heard of confirmation, but you're so full of shit. She must have misheard him.
You don't know what that means?
No.
What? You've never... You're lying. You're so full of shit. You are so full of shit. You are a lying dog-faced pony soldier. What are you talking about? You don't know what confirmation bias is. You've never heard of that. Who is she? What? That's impossible. No. We are going to have to Shannon, check your resume, your CV, because there's no way in fucking hell you don't know what confirmation bias is, and you went through med school. You went through any school that was science. What? Oh, what? That literally when you're doing science, the scientific method, you feel like I've said this so many times, but you don't test your hypothesis. You test the null hypothesis, because you don't want confirmation bias. You don't want to only pick and choose things that support your hypothesis. So the best way to combat that is to try and prove the null hypothesis. The null hypothesis is the opposite of your hypothesis. So if you say, if I do this, then this will happen, then the null hypothesis is if I do this, then it has no effect on what will happen, right? Then that they're not connected at all. So you try and work on that instead of trying to prove your hypothesis, because when you try and prove your hypothesis, it just happens that you end up with confirmation bias. So it's like one of the first things you learn. Like it's like, seriously. What? When you're learning, you're about what an alternative hypothesis is, a null hypothesis, you learn about confirmation bias. It's like the foundation of our scientific method. So there's no way she doesn't know what confirmation bias is. Her credibility fucking gone. Zero credibility. No way. Literally, I mean, it's explaining what she's fucking doing. It is explaining her method. Which is why she's saying, I've never heard of her. Because you have fucking heard of her. You did not just fall out of a fucking coconut tree. You've heard of her. Confirmation bias is the girl. She's it. And you know who she is. I am every single one of my flabbers is gasted. There's not a flabber that hasn't even remotely gasted. This is beyond saying, I don't know if babies will burst into flames if they're touched by a lighter on their toe. This is, oh my God, this is disgusting. She is disgusting. This is beyond unethical because she is full of shit. She's lying. Either she's lying or she is not supposed to be an expert witness. She shouldn't even be a doctor. So which one would you rather it be, lady? Which one would you rather it be? That you're a hack or that you're shitty at what you do? I am just, ugh. This bitch. I knew her vibes were off. I knew her vibes were off. This is bullshit. This is the problem with expert witnesses. This is the fucking problem because people see this and they know you are not. You are only biased. There's no way you're coming in here. You're literally only using confirmation bias and then you're like, I've never heard of her. Get the fuck out of here.
Well, if I were to tell you that confirmation bias is where you come up with some idea and you only look at the facts that support that idea and ignoring facts that don't support that idea, okay?
Okay.
Would you agree based on what I just told you confirmation bias is that you ignored a ton of facts that would indicate that this baby was stillborn?
I did not ignore facts.
No?
No.
You didn't get an OB consult. You didn't pay attention to the fact that Skylar was bleeding on April 3rd. Right? Yes or no?
No, I was not aware of
At
that.
this point, we've
Mr.
asked
Richardson,
him
it
to
does
be-
seem like we have been over this ground once before. Let's move
I
on.
apologize, Judge. I just
He's just like
may
the
have one
audacity
second.
though. I am. This is
Further question for this witness.
perfect ending. Perfect ending. Granted, they both ended on objections that they lost to, so that's pretty hilarious. But this ending, her credibility is fucking gone. Absolutely fucking gone. There's no rehabilitating this. You cannot rehabilitate this. This would be like a mechanic going, I've never heard of like an engine before. Like, what's a transmission? There's a difference between a manual and an automatic transmission. Like, this is... I cannot even. An expert witness that doesn't know what confirmation bias is, even if it's not a doctor. Fucking Shannon Burgess knew what confirmation bias was. And she calls herself not only a doctor, but an expert. If they had done a voir dire and he had asked, do you know what confirmation bias is? And she said no, then the judge could have been like, yeah, she's not a fucking expert. She doesn't get that. She doesn't get to be considered an expert if she's never heard of confirmation bias. It is unbelievable. I know that I'm just harping on this and I need to stop, but it's literally like the foundation of science, of the scientific method. And she's like, I don't know. I don't think so. Like, oh my fucking God. There's no rehabilitating it. There's just none.
You still have water up there, Doctor?
I do.
Okay. I don't want to talk to you about ifs, okay? I want to talk to you about what we actually know in this case.
Good. Because that's literally your fucking job. That's literally your fucking job. Otherwise, you're just talking about, reasonable doubt. Yeah. If you're just talking about ifs, you're talking about reasonable doubt. So you don't want to be doing that, right? Okay. Good for you.
Now let's clear up a couple housekeeping things. Are you employed by the prosecutor's office?
No.
Are you employed by the Warren County Sheriff's Office?
No.
Are you employed by any police agency?
No.
Are you employed by Montgomery County Coroner's Office?
Yes.
And as part of your employment duties, do you perform autopsies on anybody that comes to your attention that meets the requirement for an autopsy.
Yes.
This is so stupid. I mean, we already kind of went over that. But her being employed by the prosecutor's office doesn't matter. She's employed by the same entity that employs the prosecutor's office, that employs the sheriff's office. So her employer, right, the county, does have a certain thing they want to happen because they don't want the prosecution to go with a case that they don't have fucking evidence for, right? Yes, they do want you to say something. You shouldn't go by that, but don't just say that I have no anything in this. Your employer is the county. The prosecution is for the county. The sheriff is for the county. Just because you don't work for them, for the sheriff's office and for the prosecution doesn't mean you don't have the same interests in mind. It's just such a dumb argument. Yeah, no, you're not with the prosecution's office, but you are like a lateral of it, right?
When you come to court, is that by way of subpoena?
Yes.
Subpoenas issued by the state?
Yes.
Subpoenas issued by the defense?
Yes.
They're all the same?
Yes.
You get a subpoena and you come.
How many times have you been subpoenaed by the defense ever in your history? I would love to know that. I just want to know, how many times have you been subpoenaed by the defense? Have you ever had a finding that was bad for the prosecution and good for the defense? Has that ever happened? I just want to know that personally. I know they can't ask that question, but I would like to know.
That's right.
If the defense issues you a subpoena in this case, are you coming to court?
Yes.
That's correct. Haven't we also been over this ground as well?
Your Honor, he indicated that she's only here as part of her relationship with the state.
Let's move on.
Relationship with, different than employment with.
Mr. Rickers wanted to go through the emails that occurred between yourself and Dr. Murray and Mr. Knippen, correct?
Yes.
You would agree those emails were initiated by Dr. Murray, not yourself.
Yes.
And he wanted to then switch from that over to the emails between Dr. Murray and Mr. Knippen. You were not a part of those emails, correct?
Correct.
And he shows you one sentence out of that email, and it indicates that the state, based on Dr. Murray's changed opinion, was in fact asking for an addendum.
Correct.
We weren't hiding anything. If it is now your opinion that you do not believe that there is evidence to suggest that the bones were burned, I will need you to do an addendum to your report with this additional information so that it can be provided to defense counsel.
Did you get it? Did you get the addendum? Or did you just say, we'll need one and then forget about it because that's not what you wanted to hear? Which one is it? Huh?
And then we, because that addendum was not forthcoming.
This is not me. This is the video. The feed. Not me, the feed.
Retained Dr. Latham. So we did go get a second opinion.
Yes.
And you're aware of that.
Yes.
Mr. Rickers wants to ask you about everybody's opinions. When you come here under subpoena by either side and you are asked to give an opinion, are you giving everybody's opinions, doctor, or are you giving your opinion?
I'm giving my opinion.
You look at everything else, correct?
Like their opinions?
Yes, I look at everything and I'm taking it into consideration, but ultimately when I'm sitting here, it is my opinion.
You are a forensic pathologist?
Yes.
Not a forensic anthropologist?
Correct.
Based on what you are able to do within your area of expertise, were you able to make a determination of pre- or post-mortem injury to the skull?
No.
And did you in fact indicate that?
Yes.
Have you ever said anything to the contrary?
No.
Did you take into account, when reaching your opinion in this case, the fractures to the skull?
I took it into account, and my opinion still stands.
So you took into account that the forensic anthropologist says it was post-mortem. So you took that into account and you said, fuck them. Is that what we're understanding? I mean, you took them into account and just disregarded them and instead used your not knowing? You would rather use your... Tell me how it makes sense that you're not just using confirmation bias. If you refuse to include the opinion of a forensic anthropologist that just so happens to answer the question of whether or not it happened post-mortem or pre-mortem, and it was post-mortem, and you decided to instead go with your I don't know because I eyeballed it and I can't tell. That's it. Okay. Just verifying.
Whether they are before death or after death, my opinion still stands.
You believe, even if those injuries to that skull are post-mortem, this child still died as a result of homicidal violence?
Correct.
I'm sorry, I'm going back. Like, seriously, if I were like, I know my car, right? I know my car. And then I turn the thing and it just goes click, 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 click. And I'm like, I don't know why that is. I just know that it won't start. I don't know why. And then I go to the mechanic and the mechanic is like, oh, and I'm like, I think it's either the battery or the starter. And they're like, oh, it sounds like it's the starter. Would I go back and be like, I don't know. It could be either the battery or the starter. When the fucking mechanic just literally told me what the answer was. And I'm like, but my opinion hasn't changed. How did your opinion not change? You just don't believe her? You don't give a fuck what she says? You would rather eyeball it and just not know? It's just so fucking bullshit. You are so full of fucking bullshit, and I can smell it from here. It's years later, and I'm in Oregon.
The burn injury, the thermal injury, and I want to make sure, because we keep talking about the baby.
Objection. Did she say burn injury? Is that what you said?
I think she was in the process of rephrasing her.
I apologize.
Go ahead.
I want to be careful because we keep kind of using this global reference. When we are talking about burn injury in the context of your testimony, we are talking about thermal injury to the bones. Would you agree?
Yes.
Because that's all you had were the bones.
Correct.
You had no tissue, no
Correct.
organs, any skin?
No. One piece of fatty tissue that was about 2 inches, about 2 by 2 inches.
From the skeletal remains, all we have left of baby Richardson, in making your determination of homicidal violence, does it ultimately matter to you if her body was burned post-mortem?
No.
But you said that it did. You said that you took it into consideration. You said that you took into consideration her saying she incinerated the body. You said that. It's like even on your front page that you included in your consideration for your answer that says it's homicidal, which that's the only thing that it would have anything to do with, that you took that into consideration. So now you're saying that you did not take it into consideration, that it didn't matter? So your report was malarkey? Is that what we're understanding, or you're lying right now? Which one is it? This is very impeachable. I really hope they do.
And do you have any reason to believe it was burned prior to her death?
I don't have any evidence to show that.
And you're trying to find out what led up to the death, correct?
Correct.
Not what happened after the death.
Correct.
She literally said it matters because she was trying to hide the evidence, right? That's why she said it led to homicide, because she was trying to hide the evidence. So it does matter. You've literally already said that it already matters. Where the fuck were you, Dress Barn Betty? Where the fuck were you?
So are you able to reach your opinion and make your determination on cause of death in this case separate and apart from whether or not there was a post-death burning of baby Richardson's body?
Yes.
Mr. Rittgers wants to talk to you about the information that Miss Richardson, an adult, she's there by herself without a parent because she's an adult, provided to her doctor. And he points out she's got bleeding on April 3rd of 2017, correct? You see that?
Her last period.
That's what she reported to her doctor.
Correct.
She's also there requesting birth control, correct?
Yes.
Does it anywhere in there indicate that she's pregnant?
No.
Anywhere in there that she told her doctor, I think I'm pregnant, I'm here for a pregnancy test?
No.
But she's reporting her last period, and if we keep going with that, she's also telling her doctor, I'm having regular periods.
Yes.
So that's the information when she goes to the doctor on April 26th that she chooses to report to her doctor.
I do wonder, when we're looking at the paperwork, it should be initialed or signed by, or have a mark on whoever was logged in when that was put in, because it's possible that was the entering stuff that came from the MA, not necessarily from the doctor, because the MA gets information, they chart it because you got to write it down. Everything is charted. So it's very possible. I don't remember which, because I remember she gave different information to both the doctor and the MA on when her last period was. So that would be able to tell me, but I don't feel like looking back, so we'll see. But since this didn't have any, this is just the before, right? This is before any exam. This is before anything that was actually done. This is why she's coming in. This is her history, yada, yada, yada. That's very possible this came from the MA, not from the doctor. Not that it matters, but I'm just saying this isn't necessarily what she's reporting to her doctor. It's being reported to her doctor's office.
Yes, that's what it looks like.
I'm here, I want birth control, I'm having a regular period, I don't want a pelvic exam, and I'm not telling you that I'm pregnant, or that I have reason to believe I'm pregnant.
Correct.
She didn't share any of that information, did she?
Overruled.
Yeah, may we approach for 1 second?
You may.
To be fair, if she's saying I'm having regular periods, then it would be weird if she was like, and I think I'm pregnant. That's usually not, they don't usually go hand in hand unless you are one of those people that has two reproductive organs.
Doctor, you would agree that looking at the record that the defense presented to you, it indicates that her last menstrual period was April 3rd, 2017, that she was having currently regular menses.
Yes.
The defense then wanted to go through audio portions that were selected out. Just one line about no burning.
Yes.
What fire?
Correct.
I didn't burn her. Statements that she made to the police.
Yes.
You had an opportunity to watch those interviews, correct?
Yes.
And read the transcript.
Yes.
So do you recall in the July 20th interview, either hearing it when you watched the interview or when you reading it, when you read the transcript, not pursuant to any questioning by the police, when her father first comes into the room and says, "Honey, tell us what's going on." The police said, "You have to tell us because you're 18. And the first thing she utters to her father is, "I tried to cremate the baby."
Yes.
That wasn't pursuant to any question asked by any police officer. That was her voluntary statement provided to her father.
Correct.
You were also asked questions as if they were absolutes, and I'll stick with that interview first, about the cord not being attached.
Correct.
Do you recall in the second interview, Detective Carter saying, "Was it still attached to the placenta? Do you remember?" And Skylar says, "No." And Detective Carter says, "Okay." And then Skylar says, "I don't remember. It might have been."
Correct.
Is that a definitive it wasn't attached to anything?
No.
That was her saying, "I don't know."
Correct.
So if we don't know, based on her statement, as to whether the cord was or was not attached, can you assume from that that the cord was not attached?
I did not assume that, no.
I thought we were talking in absolutes. I thought we weren't saying ifs. We were only saying things that we knew. Because her not knowing if the placenta was attached to the cord would be reasonable doubt, would it not? If you don't know, then you can't use that. That's not absolute. What are you doing?
Likewise, you were asked if her water never broke, or if there was very little, can you assume that there were issues, again, with the placenta or the amount of amniotic fluid? And I would direct your attention to the first interview, when she's with Lieutenant Fain. And he asks her, "Have you ever heard of the term when people say their water broke?" And Skylar says, "Yeah, I don't know. Did you feel that? I don't know." Is there anything definitive about that indicating that her water never broke?
No.
Or indicating low amniotic fluid?
No.
Or that it did break?
From either of those statements, that there was a cord not attached or water never broke, based on what she actually said, not if she said that, what she actually said, can you assume that that child was stillborn?
No.
In
She
either
keeps looking at something.
transcript.
She keeps looking at something in front of her, and I wonder what it is. See? What is that, do you think?
In either transcript, because again, I don't want to deal with ifs, I want to deal with what we know. Did you ever read any statement or description from the defendant where she said her daughter burst into flames, quote unquote, burst into flames?
No.
Are you able to make any determination on the amount of burn injury to baby Richardson based on what you had to examine?
No.
Was there any testable evidence that had not been destroyed?
Destroyed?
Was there
No.
any evidence brought to your lab that could be tested, Or is everything that you would have needed to make a determination on the amount of burn injury to that baby destroyed?
By
Yes,
whom?
prior to it arriving at our office.
By time? By animals in the ground? Destroyed is a very specific word to use. I think it's a little
Mr. Ritgers
weird.
started out his questioning of you asking if, based on the skeletal remains, what you had to test on that day, those 2 dates. He said you cannot say if there was any injury prior to death. You recall him saying that to you?
Yes.
Based on what you had left of baby Richardson, you've said undetermined etiology, correct?
Yes.
Based on what you had left of baby Richardson, doctor, can you offer an opinion as to whether or not she was suffocated?
No.
Based on the bones that you have, would there be any evidence of suffocation?
No.
Doctor, based on what we have of baby Richardson, can you make any determination as to whether or not she was drowned?
No.
Would any evidence of drowning still
Or
show up
electrocuted?
on the bones?
No.
Was she
Nothing further,
electrocuted
Your
with
Honor.
a drill? That did
Mr.
not
Richters,
rehabilitate
recross?
her.
Sure.
Please show her report that shows that she said that she took into consideration that she tried to incinerate the baby, because they've made it pretty clear that apparently she didn't. So that's something you should talk about.
Doctor, decomposition occurs when the baby or any human being is buried in the ground. Is that correct?
Yes.
So that's not necessarily a sign of anybody destroying anything. It's a
Thank you.
natural process, isn't it? Is decomposition a natural process? Yes,
Yes.
or no?
Time is destructive, sir.
When you first took the stand and were questioned by Ms. Kraft, she made it a point, and you totally agreed, that you can't decide this case or any other case in a vacuum.
Drink.
Correct?
Correct.
And so when she got back up here and talked about everybody else's opinion, wouldn't you think that Dr. Latham, who was hired by the prosecutor, wouldn't you think that that report is very important as to those fractures? Yes or no?
Crickets.
Yes or no?
Sure.
Sure.
And yet it's nowhere in any report of yours, is it? You just want to let it linger for the jury that maybe those fractures occurred sometime before what you think was a death, as opposed to after the baby was buried in the ground, correct? That's what your report says. You don't know before or after.
My report says I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. I love this dude.
Ms. Kraft, when she came back up here to ask a few other questions of you, and she referred to Dr. Andrew, did you in any way, were you aware that Dr. Andrew came in here and said that when he told Skylar that she was pregnant, that her reaction was one of surprise? Were you told that?
I was not told that.
You know that
feel like it's
It was
in the
kind of
medical record,
important. No, strike that. I heard you say when Ms. Kraft came back up here that your determination was based on everything that occurred before Annabelle was stillborn on May 7th. Is that correct? Is that what I heard?
Yes.
But you didn't have everything, did you? You did not have everything when you made that consideration. Yes or no?
I'm not sure that I understand your question.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Well, you didn't get an OB consult, an obstetrician. You didn't ask an OB about what they saw in the medical records, and then you have a full-term baby 11 days later, did you?
I did not talk to her OB or get an OB consult.
And that you didn't think anything of the bleeding that Skylar reported when she first went to the OB on April 26th, did you? Didn't.
No.
And in your review of these interrogations, isn't it true that Skylar was asked multiple times as to whether or not she cut the cord, and she said no? Is that true?
Yes.
May I have 1 second?
You may.
Please tell me you're getting the report.
A couple more things, Dr. Brown. When you were asked some questions by Ms. Kraft about tissues and stuff, there was hair that was found at the scene, correct?
Yes.
And some tissue that you had already talked about, correct?
Yes.
And there wasn't any indication of burning on those pieces of evidence, was there?
No.
And Doctor, you didn't talk, or you weren't aware of any interviews with Skylar's mother regarding finding any bloody Tampax or pads in the upstairs trash. You're not aware of that, are you?
No.
And finding
That would be good to know. That would be good to know.
those before the stillborn was born on May 7th, correct? You you don't know anything about that,
I
do you?
don't. No, I don't.
That's why you ask for everything. Dude, this is heated. He's probably like, you have to show the report.
No
Come
further
on, show the
questions,
report.
Your Honor.
You can step down.
They didn't show the report. Well, that's something.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think we are going to go ahead and get at least a little bit of our next witness.
No, we're not. I mean, they are, but we are not. It's been a very long time. It's like almost 1 a.m. for me. So we are going to end it there. I genuinely wish that he would have brought up her report that said that she considered the statements about trying to incinerate the baby. Because she literally said she didn't do that. Come on. I mean, they probably didn't have to impeach her any further because her credibility is like in the toilet. Like it's down there with Shannon Burgess for me. Oh my God. That's just so. Anyway, thank you for joining me. I'm going to go and cool off a little bit because that is absolutely junk. Junk. This is my problem with expert witnesses. And I believe the next one's also going to be an expert witness. So at least we get to see that. I'm sorry if I get angry at that one. Hopefully I don't. Hopefully she's better than this one. This one made me very mad. First of all, with the saying I've never tried to burn a baby before, haha, without actually answering the question about how absolutely ridiculous it is. And then not saying she knows what confirmation bias is, saying she doesn't know. And it's like, well, no shit, because you literally disregarded opinions from experts and instead went with what she said during her second interview at the very end, not considering all the stuff she said at the beginning of the second one, just the stuff she said at the end. That's what you took into consideration instead of expert opinions. Interesting, right? I can't believe that the jury takes this seriously. No way. No way. You can't go up there and say that you, as a doctor, take seriously the possibility of a baby having its toe be lit with a lighter and have it light up on fire to the point that the flames come up to the chest. You can't actually think that. No way. No way. Because no doctor in their right mind would say that. That is discreditable. Like, that's absolutely ludicrous malarkey. I can't even... If I told somebody that, they'd be like, what's wrong with you, Molly? I thought you had two brain cells to rub together. Because I do, and I know that babies aren't flammable. That they don't have to be kept away from open flames so they don't accidentally combust. Like, I know they're like, they never said burst into flames. Like, yeah, but they said flames went up to their chest. I don't know how else you can come to that conclusion except for they came, right? Like, it's not like she said, oh, well, I sat there for about 6 hours trying to light a baby on fire with a lighter and finally it made its way up to, I mean, like, no. That's not what happened. This is one of the reasons that this case is so important to me specifically. Why I think this is important is because the prosecution brought this. They brought this. Think with the charge that she set a baby on fire and that was their evidence of it. There's no physical evidence. Nothing. They had 3 forensic anthropologists look and say they couldn't find evidence of any kind of burn. One of them was like, there might be at the very beginning and then recanted, but they just went with it because they had to, because they used the Reed method and got her to confess to something that's physically impossible. And then they brought it to fucking trial. That's disgusting. That's disgusting. You fucked up. You fucked up. That's why you don't do that shit. And you, cops, you cannot tell me that they actually thought that that was a thing. The cops are dumb, but they're not that dumb. Nobody thinks you can light a baby on fire with a lighter. Nobody. Let alone to the point that it might get onto the bones. And then they're like, well, we're not saying that it had to be on the bones. We're just saying she eventually said that she lit the baby on fire. It's like, yeah, after you told her that you had proof that the baby was lit on fire. And she's obviously malleable. This should never have gone to trial. This should never have gone to trial. This is the difference between Laken Snelling and this, is that this should not have gone to trial. I don't know about Laken Snelling. I don't know enough about it, but I know that I don't think they said that literally physically impossible things happened and then they're going to bring it to court and then try and actually tell a jury that that is possible. That is bullshit. If you're a juror and they're trying to tell you that she lit a baby on fire just with a lighter and nothing else, the baby was fucking naked, you'd be like, excuse me? I'm not stupid. Gotta calm down. I'm gonna go cool off. Have a nice day, afternoon, whatever it is. evening. I hope that you enjoyed this. I'm sorry that I was so obnoxious. And then next, I believe it's going to be another, maybe the Dr. Latham. Maybe it's Dr. Latham. I don't know. But we'll see. And then after that will be fourth day of trial, I believe. And that's going to be Detective Fain again. And we'll watch the second part of the interrogation. Reminder, do watch that video on that I made about the read method, because it is definitely going to be important when going into the interrogation video. So thank you for joining me, and have a nice rest of your time of the day. And my hand's all stained. Rest of your day. And I'll see you next time. Bye.